I know you're jamming out, but we are ready for the live show. Welcome to Trip Advice Live here on another lovely Monday evening, 8 o'clock. That's when we do it, Central Time. We have a great panel here. We have a great topic. Today we're talking about what are modern women's red and green flags, but we're also going to be talking about what are the red flags and the green flags and the yellow flags for men as well. I picked this topic because I wanted to hear from the ladies. I wanted to hopefully teach the people who are watching some things and really just dive in and see what we can come up with. So we're going to start over here real quick with an opener question. And the question is, what was the best or most unique date that you've ever been on?
I kind of hate this, and all the girls would agree as well, is that the bar is really low on this one. But I think having this guy, he did the bare minimum, you know, like holding the door for me. He came and picked me up in his car. He held the door open for me, bought me flowers, which was super, super sweet. And I was like, this is the best date I'm ever going to go on. We went out to dinner. We were out to dinner for maybe like 2 hours talking about life and everything like that. And then he took me home. He was such a gentleman the entire night. But I kind of realized in a way that it was like, I think every girl deserves that in a way.
Well, not every girl, but
most girls do. I mean, I think respectful girls do that are going to respect men the same way that
sure,
men
yeah,
respect
okay, in
women.
that situation, yeah.
Yeah, so I think that's how it was for me. But I'm hoping to be on a unique date eventually. But
Well, how many of those type of dates have you had?
maybe about like 7 or 8.
Okay.
It's
What
not that
of the
many.
7 and 8?
Compare.
There's not one that stuck out of those.
Not really. I felt like the conversations weren't as fluid. You know what I mean? I feel like I was the one asking most of the questions rather than him asking me like personal questions about myself, if that makes sense.
Yep.
Yeah.
Cool. Over here.
I would have to say the same thing. I haven't had anything extraordinary, but I would say the last date I was on was one of my favorites. He planned everything. He didn't let me, he kind of put me in my feminine and just let me sit back and decided everything in the best way. He asked my preferences, but he did a little picnic. It was raining, so he did it indoors, and it was
Cool.
perfect. I mean, he bought the flowers. He asked what kind of wine I wanted. Like every little detail was thought out. The music was even perfect. So it wasn't even like grandiose. It was just actual thought and effort, and it didn't need to be expensive. I didn't have to think. I just had to show up and look pretty. And the conversation was very, very nice. So it was just hours and hours of talking, and the atmosphere was good. And yeah, it's not the most unique thing, but it went such a far way that he definitely will get more dates. I mean,
Oh, so you've already done this?
yeah, it was the last
Like
date
recently? This is like a new
last
guy.
week. Yeah.
Okay.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, I was imagining, I was gonna be like, so what happened to this guy? Like, oh well, it didn't work out. Which,
No, it's working out pretty well.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
So,
Awesome.
that's my best one.
Awesome.
I feel like kind of like you, I haven't had anything super extraordinary, but I think my favorite has been it was before I came to Chicago, but he planned a day trip to Chicago, which from being from a small town, that's amazing. Being in Chicago for the first time, I was like, oh my goodness, this is amazing. But he planned the whole thing out, had the flowers, had the wine, had everything. And it was amazing. Just kind of spending the day in Chicago. I saw the bean for the first time. So just kind of like we got to, I feel like for the first date, I don't like to sit down and like have dinner like most people do. Like I want to like go adventure. I want to see what you're like outside. I want to see, you know, like how you're acting, like how you are with me, if we vibe together, if we can like go on adventures together, things like that. So I think that was my favorite day, but I'm hoping to have something like you had. That's amazing. That's what I want. So hopefully,
Which one, the picnic or the conversation?
the conversation, something like with really, really, really good conversation that we can like keep going for hours. Like you don't even know what time it is, that because the conversation's so good and you
It's the
never want to stop.
best,
Yes,
yeah.
that's exactly what I want. So something like that.
Cool. Awesome.
I like live music. I like festivals and concerts, and someone I could like spend time with there. It's kind of not, just like going to concerts with someone boring. You know, they have to dance. Yeah.
So was there a date that you've been on that you guys did that and that was a really fun time?
Yeah, we went to festival this summer. It was it's been going good.
Okay. So you're still dating? Nice. Are we official yet?
No.
I can sense you're a little shy. What's going on?
Oh, I don't know.
Needs a
What
drink.
if he sees this?
That kind of went.
Did you tweet this or Instagram this out?
No.
Okay.
No.
Then chances are he probably is not watching. So you're good.
Okay. Let's talk about.
Even though
it.
I hope he is. I hope everyone. Okay, cool. Over here.
It feels like these are first dates, or no, this is not necessarily a first date.
Well, I didn't say first.
Okay.
So,
Okay, I don't know why I
what?
thought
It
that.
could be whatever you want.
No.
This was a first date.
So I guess we
If
were.
it was,
that
we'd
you
be
guys
dating.
are mostly first.
I
dates,
wish no. I
you're
wish
saying?
my example was
okay.
a first date.
Those are good first dates. But we were together for a very short amount of time, maybe less than a month, about a month. And the start of this is not going to sound good.
Katie Jr.
She didn't want to be called Junior. That was very rude that we called
Ooh,
her.
am I right,
Junior,
though?
by the way. No, it wasn't Katie Jr.
Okay.
It was Katie Senior. And so
Oh.
Katie Jr. didn't like to be called Katie Senior. That's for another show. Listen, no. So she said, my sister's, her boyfriend is not good. This is the sister's boyfriend. She's like, we got to go to Arizona and we have to pick her up. I've been with Kate. I shouldn't say names. She might watch this. She likes you.
Code names. We should have code names for us to be talking about.
She's also probably not watching. Continue.
she might. But anyway, so
Bring her out.
Here she comes. So I'm like, yeah, sure, this will be wild. And we were going to drive to Arizona, pack all of her shit, her sister's shit, and drive her back to Chicago. And I'm like, I knew I really liked her at the time. And so I'm like, this should be wild. This
How
should be
long
wild.
have you
This
been
will be
dating
fun.
her at this point?
3 weeks, a little less than a month.
Okay, so yeah, super new.
So yeah, very new. And so I'm like, let's do this. And then so I meet her at her mom's house. And so I met her mother that day too. So I'm like going through all these little things. I met her mother. Grown-ups love me. Mothers love me. So that went swimmingly. And then we hit the road. And the road trip was great. Like we rolled a couple joints for the road. We had good music planned out. And we really, a lot of dates are just like little interviews, but this was, we were really getting to know each other on this car ride. It was great. We were stopping when we wanted to stop. We still had a deadline to pick up her sister, but like I was in love with her by the time we got to like Kansas. Like we were at, I'm like, okay, like doesn't take much for me. At least young me. I'm the elder statesman here. Young me, it didn't take much for me. But that was it. That was like a really first, like, to this day, that was the best date. It was the best. The whole trip there, stopping, staying at, and I was a gentleman too. I got separate hotel rooms.
You got separate hotel rooms.
That's nice.
And you've
She
been
didn't want
dating,
to
you've been dating
always
for
sit
3
here.
weeks.
Yeah, definitely.
Were they
Nice.
joined rooms?
Yeah,
Were they
rooms right
joint
next to
rooms?
each other. And then, yes, admittingly, we weren't always using both of those rooms. We would share a room.
So at that point, you guys have not slept together yet?
We did not sleep together at that point.
Okay.
Going into that trip.
Good for you.
Yeah,
Oh my gosh.
yeah.
This is Katie Senior.
This is.
I thought it was Katie
Interesting.
Jr.
Junior was somebody else.
Oh.
That we called her Katie Junior, and
Because
then
she was a younger
guys-
version of this Katie who came
they
in.
just so happen to have the same
way
name.
later.
So Tripp started calling her Katie Junior, and then I started calling her Katie Junior, and she's like, and she's absolutely right. She's like, can you not call me Katie Junior? I'm like, yeah, that's not right. We shouldn't be calling you Katie.
Didn't she
Junior.
did she ghost you at the end of it all?
I did not ghost her, but it just faded out. I did not ghost
It was
her,
a
though.
fade out. It was a
Yeah.
fade out. Okay, fair
Yeah.
enough. Great. Okay, some
Sorry
good
if I made
answers
that
here.
story too long.
No, that was fantastic. We got
Good
time.
story.
Well, welcome everyone. That was a quick intro question. Let's get into some quick announcements. So, as you know, or maybe you don't know, maybe you're new here, there's super chats. What are super chats? Super chats are when you can add money to a chat, which means it will guarantee that I will read it here, or if it's a question, it will guarantee that I will answer the question here on the show. I will try to answer some questions, or maybe even if there's questions for the panel, we can try to get to that too. But just know that any super chat will guarantee that it gets read tonight. We are reading all of them. So you can go ahead and do that. Other announcements. TripAdvice is a company that gives dating advice to men. And we have a coaching portion, which means we actually coach guys. We take them out. We do virtual coaching. We help you with your dating profile. We do everything that we can to make sure that you are successful with meeting and attracting women so you have more choice in dating. I know that guys struggle with that. I know that men want more choice in dating. So we do that for you. We've been doing this for 12 years. We are pretty damn good at it. We have numerous testimonials, guys who've gotten married, gotten girlfriends, gotten laid, lost their virginity. We can help you. Go to tripadvicecoaching.com. I don't know what's so funny over here. Okay, go to tripadvicecoaching.com where you can book a call with my team and I, and we will talk about coaching. We'll see if we can help you. The call is 100% free. So if you are even just slightly interested, take advantage. Book a call, tripadvicecoaching.com. Does that sound good?
Clients that got married, huh?
Yeah.
Nice.
Just a couple months ago, I had coincidentally two in 1 week who texted me saying that they are
Very
engaged.
No way.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I'll get ones where they send me like their engagement photos or pictures of the ring,
Yeah.
all that stuff.
Very cool.
Yeah, I'm still waiting for the first baby. I haven't gotten that yet, but I'm sure it's happened by now.
They're gonna have to name him after.
Anyways,
Damn right.
yeah, that's right.
Trip Junior.
Trip Junior. Emma, you took it right out of my mouth. Okay. What else? Yeah, so that's it. TripAdviceCoaching.com. Now I want to introduce the panel, a lovely panel today, even a guest here who you might know him. You don't recognize him, but you might know him because he was and still is big commenter in the chat. So Tony K is with us tonight. One day I'll get some sound effects and that will sound a lot better. But before we get to Tony, we always start to my left. So we're going to start over here. How we're going to do it? You're going to say your name, your age, what you do for work, your relationship status, and then we'll do a little icebreaker, just a quick question, which today is, why did you decide to come on the show? Okay. If you don't remember that, I'm happy to repeat it. We'll start over here.
Okay.
Name, age, work, relationship status. Why did you decide to come on the show?
My name's Emma. I'm 23 years old as of Friday. I work for a marketing agency as an account coordinator, and I work in
Wait, hold
digital
on. When was your
marketing.
birthday? Last Friday?
It was just like this Friday, like a couple days ago.
Happy birthday.
Oh,
Happy
thank you. Yeah, it was so fun, guys. Like best night ever. But
We'll have to hear
what
about
was
it,
the
but
other
continue.
question? Oh yeah, what was the other question?
Name, age, work, relationship status.
Okay, relationship status. I am single, but I'm currently dating. You know, everyone says just date around while you can, have fun while you're at it. And then what was the icebreaker question?
Why did you decide to come on the show?
Oh yeah, why I decided to come on the
And
show.
you can't, the answer can't be because you asked me
I didn't ask you. You actually asked me to come on the show.
or, the reverse, but continue.
I actually was going through some of this stuff and I was messaging some of my friends about it. And I was like, guys, there's no way. Like I was asked to be on the show and everyone's saying that I'd be perfect for this because a lot of my friends actually ask me for relationship advice as well. And for some reason, I give the best advice, but I can't even take my own advice. I don't know what it is about that, but it's like I give such good advice. And it's like, dang, I wish I had a friend like that was literally a doppelganger of myself to give me the advice that I'm giving because, it'd be so much easier. But sometimes it's hard. But yeah, that's
Well,
why I
maybe
chose
we
the
can
show.
help you out tonight. And I'm very
Definitely.
curious what some of that advice is. We'll get to that too.
Definitely.
Awesome. Over here.
I am Niso. I'm 24 years old. I'm a realtor in Chicago. Hit me up if you're looking. But I came on here because I usually get really scared of men who have podcasts. I feel like that's just kind of been a thing.
Oh, interesting. Wait, I got to hear why.
She's
That's a
a
whole
triple
white
flag.
guys with podcasts is a thing. Have you guys heard this? That's like the joke. People say,
No.
"Oh, it's another white guy with a podcast."
Oh.
But I've been podcasting since 2009, so I'm very offended by that.
Nice.
Okay, continue.
Well, I
So,
just respect that. I looked just at a few videos of yours and I was like, oh, okay, cool. He's coming at it from the perspective of a woman. And you usually don't see that. There's not much of attacking of our character or their character. It's just like very real. So I was like, I kind of love that. Me and my friends sit around in a circle all the time talking about what guys like, what guys don't like. I've had guy friends my whole life. I had girlfriends my whole life. And I mean, there's a conversation we have on a daily basis, and to create like a safe space to bring your own opinion. Like anything I say today might not resonate with anyone, but I think the people around me and a lot of the girls and my TikTok algorithm might agree with me. And hopefully, I mean, like, if I can contribute to one more good guy in the world, then why not? So
That is lovely.
I
Thank you.
love the
Wow.
TikTok algorithm.
Great. Okay. What was your age again? Sorry.
24.
24. Awesome.
The oldest so far.
And you said your relationship status is like
Single, as a
single,
Pringle, dating around.
but there's a guy.
Yeah, I mean, he's number one right now.
Okay.
He's in the lead.
Do we
Great.
have a roster? Is that what we're doing?
You can say it louder. What was that?
Do we have a roster? Is that what we're doing?
We can talk about that later.
Okay, perfect. Perfect.
Talk
need
about
more champagne
roster.
for
Got
that.
it. Okay. We have a lot to discuss tonight. All right, over here.
I'm Abby. I'm 26. I'm an esthetician, and I'm single, but dating a little bit here and there, depending.
Cool.
Oh, why I came on?
Why did you decide to come on the show now?
I feel like it would get me out of my comfort zone, in being kind of more open. And kind of like you guys said, I think with this, you'd get to see both sides of things instead of just one perspective. So seeing both sides is really nice. So yeah, I just kind of wanted to see what everyone else had to say and see if we're on the same page and kind of help if we can get our perspective and what we think on things. So I know sometimes it's hard. Women don't open up a lot and with dating, so maybe we can help a little. So
Cool.
Hi, I'm Michelle. I'm
A little louder. Can't hear you.
Sorry,
You got this.
I'm Michelle. I'm
Yep.
26. I'm in construction management. And what I was feeling silly. I'm actually kind of shy, so I thought I'd, being out of my comfort zone.
Got this.
So you came here to grow.
Yeah,
Amen. I
did.
love that.
Yes.
Yes,
Very
Michelle.
nice. Okay.
I am Tony. I am 39.
Say again.
39. And what else is there? I'm in finance. And why am I on the show? I don't know. I kept asking you why you wanted to be on the show.
But eventually you came.
I am Trip. Trip's, me and Trip are good mates. We've known each other since our whole lives. Our
Since our whole
mothers
lives.
have been best friends since they were in second grade.
Aw,
And
cute.
Trip
That is cute.
asked me on the show. And I know that's not what we're supposed to say for the reason why we're on the show, but
Maybe it is a little
For
bit more
me,
for you.
if you're me, I guess I could say that you want me to have
Well,
the show.
you are an opinionated fellow.
I'm a very opinionated fella.
and so I thought that'd be really
we
fun to
always
have you on
have
the
little
show.
debates, nothing but friendly debates. So yeah. it'd be
Yeah,
good.
anything that I tell you, you don't automatically agree with. You always have to, and I love that. You ask a lot of questions.
Correct.
You come at it different angles.
Correct.
We have good conversations.
Yes.
Awesome. Cool. All right. Well, good to have everyone. For you out there, we're talking about red flags. We're talking about green flags. And I want to talk about what kind of red flags that we should be looking out for. What are the green flags that people should be looking out for, men and women alike? And also why this is even important in dating. Why is it important to look for these flags? What does that mean? What does that do for us? So before we start into the more personal questions, I want to see if anyone can help us out and volunteer and just define what a red flag is without citing specific examples. So you don't have to get examples of what it is, but try to define what it is. Does anyone want to?
Just like a deal breaker.
Yeah.
Literally.
Deal breaker.
That's what I was gonna say.
I think
Anyone
it's
else?
something you should look at, like especially in the talking stage. I think it's something you should look at if this is going to be an issue going on like long term, and if you guys do decide to date. So I think it's something that you do see you don't like or don't disagree with, or like how they act, something like that, just to kind of like that's going to be there later on in the relationship. Is that something you can deal with right now and like have there?
Yeah. I have a question though. Do icks fall in this category?
I was gonna say that because my red flag list was basically like
Icks.
half X too. I think X are better than red flags though, because
Yeah.
X are like the ultimatum, like no. But
Yeah.
with red flags, it's like
What is
sometimes
the
we
word?
don't listen
I'm
to
old,
them.
I'm sorry.
It's called an ick.
Ick?
So like if
Like
a
you
man,
get like when
I'm sorry.
if
You know,
has
like
a girl ever
icky?
done
Like,
something
that's
Oh,
that
okay.
icky.
So
to
okay,
roast
fine.
you out, yeah,
Okay,
like it'd be
ick,
the
like icky.
smallest
Okay.
thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've worked on that, but like
It's there. It
But guys
happens.
have
Wait,
the
so you're
same
saying
thing
those
too.
are the same as red flags? Or
No,
all
yeah,
red
we
flags?
are
Should
saying
we
where they're a
define
little,
it the
are we
same?
defining
different?
them the same? That's what she's asking.
Okay, good question. So in my opinion, An ick is something that would seem like a yellow flag, maybe, which we'll
Beige.
define
Yeah,
in a
Beige is
second.
good.
Oh man, there's
According
the,
to TikTok.
wait, what's
Okay,
the beige
yellow.
flag?
There's beige flags on
Right, I
TikTok.
remember.
It's like a little icky, but you're like, oh, at the same time.
It's like
but-
cute. It's a
Oh, it's
cute.
cute.
I like
It's
that.
like
It could be like
I like
bad,
that.
bad to some people, good to other people.
Yeah.
is what a beige flag
It's
is.
a cute. Okay.
I like that.
Like a cute egg.
I didn't think we were going to talk about that. That is a very unique flag. Okay, I'd love to hear some examples of a beige flag. What's
I don't remember the
icky
last one I
but
saw.
cute?
So like footwear.
What?
Footwear for me, like if you wear flip flops, ick. Red flag.
Ooh.
But if you wear like sandals,
Wow,
like
that hit
Jesus
hard right
sandals,
there.
that are like you style well, that I could
Yeah.
appreciate still. Beige. I mean, sometimes
Like, oh, that's cute.
Flip-flops to
He's
the beach
trying.
is fine, but
Yes.
flip flops to like dinner, that's just
Flip
good.
Or
flops to
flip flops
anywhere.
is casual
Really?
wear.
Whoa.
I just don't look
we
at their
can't do
feet.
flip flops to
you
the
can
beach.
do whatever you want. I prefer
Well,
to
it's not attractive to do flip flops to the
No,
beach.
flip flops to the beach are good.
To the
Yes,
beach is
flip-flops to the
different.
beach
is
good.
it's
Well,
beach
because
is
the
Anywhere
sand's
else-
gonna cover your feet.
Yes.
now hold
outside
on.
of the beach, no.
You're being nice, girl, for a second. You had
Emotional.
your
Flip-flops
original
in general
reaction.
really just don't. I don't.
They don't
I
resonate.
Just
feel
seeing
like you
it
could
on a
just do
man's
more.
foot is not
Yeah,
good.
no, absolutely not. I call them foot
Just
thongs. They're
absolutely.
not.
Foot thongs.
That's so good.
Yeah. Sandals. There's so many ways to express yourself. Fashion is so vast.
Oh my
Why are you choosing flip flops?
Because you're going to the beach and
Beach again. I can like. It's
you don't
whatever.
want to get sand
Like
in your
if we're
shoes.
gonna, if we're like, oh, we're going on a city date today, and they wear flip flops, I'm like, we should. You want to go and change?
Yeah.
We can go. Like,
Yeah, you know what? Outside the beach, I'm not wearing sandals.
Yeah.
I'm not wearing flip flops.
Sandals cool. Like what I don't even know, Chacos. Like they're cool if you're wanting to go hiking, go on a little walk. It's like a Colorado thing. A lot of Colorado.
What are some other beige flags not related to fashion?
footwear.
This is great. No, I love this beige flag thing. It's ridiculous. It's great.
I'm
We
sure I'll
need
think
more.
of more, but I'm not sure off the top of my head right now.
I like corny jokes.
Yeah, it's like the dad jokes. A lot of people are like,
They're so
those are so,
funny.
but I love those. I think if they have a sense of humor, that's my favorite thing.
Same.
So like the dad jokes, they're funny to me. I'm like, oh, you can crack a joke.
We
That's
love that.
cute.
Beige flag.
Beige flag.
Beige.
But sometimes the jokes.
But
can go
sometimes
too
you're
far.
like, oh, you have to pretend to laugh. You're like, oh, I didn't get it, and then
Yeah, it's a
explain it to
racist
you.
joke.
Yes.
Yellow
I
flag.
know.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Or it's a red flag.
Or if it's
Red.
degrading, it's a red flag.
Yes, red flag.
I feel like
Okay.
some guys they start off like super funny. Like I was talking to this one guy and I thought he was really funny, but then he took it way too far and was like starting to degrade me in a sense. Like he was trying to be funny towards other people, but then it was like, okay, bro, like you're getting like way too degrading to this point where it was just like icky, you know? It was, I
What
had
did he
to
say?
just- Huh?
What did he say?
He started calling me a bitch out of nowhere. Be like, hey, bitch, what's up? I'm like, you're not funny.
No.
Like, we're not friends like that. I don't know. It's like, if a man, it's different if my girlfriend says it, but for a man to say that, that's weird. You know what I mean?
So that's an ick.
It's an ick. And
So that's an ick,
Yeah.
right? Something
I
that
get it.
it's not a red flag. It's not even. I mean, would it be a yellow flag? Kind
just-
of.
Yeah, that's what I was
Gross.
just
It's
going to
like-
ask.
it's
Isn't
just-
that kind of the same as like a yellow flag? I've never heard of
Yeah.
the different colored flags other than the red
okay,
flag,
but
obviously.
for an ick, it's like more so like something that makes you feel like not nauseous, but it's like kind of, you know, it's like the icky, you know how you get the butterflies, but then you get like, when you feel hungover, you feel sick to your stomach.
Sure.
That's how I feel when I get the ick.
Oh,
Okay.
actually, I have an ick that just happened last night.
Oh my God, let's hear it.
It's not from
On
a
a
man.
date?
It was not a day. It was just I don't even it's not even meant to be an ick. I kind of feel bad. But we were on a boat with all our friends, like our guy friends, and he was getting out of the boat.
This butt show.
No,
Oh.
like he was getting like back onto the boat, and he was like, it was like a beached whale. Like he was like sliding on. I was like, do you want help? Stop. Please stop. Like it was just seeing that. I was like, ooh, that's an ick. All right.
It can be the smallest things.
It's
Okay.
literally how they
Usually
walk
is
or
the
But
if
it's
they like
every
swing
girl,
their
like
head.
every
Yeah.
girl is different with that. Like
Mhm.
some girls would be like, oh, that's kind of cute. Like that's a beige flag. Like, oh, you're like a cute little beach whale. But like some girls are like, that's disgusting.
Just like he could have.
Like it wasn't smooth.
Yeah, it was not smooth at all.
Okay.
It was just he just like, and I think it was also because might have been a little drunk, but he just like boom and just like laid there, and we were like, "Are you okay? What's going on here?" And we were all like, "No, everybody, no, it's just."
Okay.
Any drunk
Is he good?
girl
Did he-
is an ick.
Oh.
I actually felt that.
I do agree.
drunk
I
girl-
do agree.
Tony hates a drunk girl.
My
So
Only
do I.
because
I-
I've
my
had,
Yeah.
that's a whole other
Only 'cause
subject,
why?
but
One
yeah,
more
it's,
time?
I've had issues with,
Oh.
I've had abuse.
Oh, jeez.
Like
That's
that,
not good.
like that.
That's
He knows.
That's
like
just
that.
that's not an ick. That's
But
just
but I try
straightforward.
not
That's
to
a-
judge.
That's a red flag.
But
yeah.
it is for me a girl that. Well, that's not fair though, because I'm not a big drinker, as you know. So, but every once in a while I get drunk. So it's not fair for me to say, "Oh no, I don't like this girl because she's getting."
Well, I don't
drunk."
think it's about fairness. It's about what's attractive, right?
Yeah.
To you.
Yeah.
Sure.
We're talking about, okay,
Sure.
maybe beyond what's fair and what's
But
not
it's not fair
You
to
don't
judge
like-
somebody from one past instance.
Sure, that
of
might be
badness.
hypocrisy,
Right?
but
Yes, definitely.
okay. All right. So, little off topic. We got into beige flags, which wasn't even on the list today. But
love
this is
it. I
great.
love beige
Maybe there's other flags too. Maybe in another year
So
there'll
a
be another
girl
flag.
loved to sing, but she was a horrible singer. Is
But you
that
found
an
it.
ick?
That's an ick.
But I love that she was not bashful and she was.
No,
always
that's a
That's
beige.
a beige flag.
That's a
That's a
beige.
beige flag. That's
Like,
a beige
oh, your
flag.
singing's terrible, but you're
But she
trying.
wants to do it. She'll like try to harmonize.
Beige.
She'll try to this and that. And I loved it, but she was a horrible singer. Couldn't even.
if you loved it, then it's a beige flag.
Then it's a
if you
beige
didn't,
flag.
then it was an ick.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow, this beige flag is a real thing.
Thank
Okay.
you,
Oh, yeah.
TikTok.
Okay, so I think we've defined what a red flag is. Abby, you said some good stuff. Anyone else care to share red flag definition? No. Okay. Green flag. What's a green
No, wait.
flag?
What's yellow? Go.
We'll
go
get
down
there.
the list.
Yellow, I guess, would be beige.
Yeah. I still
Yeah.
don't get the difference between an ick and a yellow. Then.
We'll come back.
Okay.
Green.
The ick is the opposite of a yellow. I mean, of a beige.
Okay.
Sorry.
Looks
No,
like
I know.
looks
It's
like
the
we're on
cute
yellow
version
and
of an
beige.
ick.
Okay. Okay. Who does anyone want to define a yellow flag?
I don't know what a yellow flag
Yeah,
I don't
is.
know how
I've
to speak
never
on a
heard
yellow
of
flag,
that,
honestly. I've never, it's either red or green for me. It's either stop
Yeah.
and go.
So
One
like
or
is a
the- one or
yellow
the
flag
other.
like
There's no
something you
spectrum.
just it's not a deal breaker, but it's something you're just kind of thinking twice about?
Yellow
Like,
flag to me is a precursor to a red flag.
Sure.
So yellow flag is like, okay, flag's been up. They did something that was kind of weird.
she was
not
a jerk
so
to the
cool.
server when we were out to dinner.
Sure.
That's a
I'm
red
not-
flag.
That's almost a red
No,
flag.
No,
That's
that's,
almost
that's
a
a
red
red. That's
flag.
straight up
That's
red.
almost
That is a red.
Either
For sure.
like men and women. Like
Yeah.
if you're
For sure.
rude to serving people,
That's on my
like
list.
humble yourself. Like it's
Definitely.
just gross.
That's
Definitely.
always the first one. Every time I talk about red flags in the show, that one comes up.
I like
First,
that
every
is
single
like- that's
time.
like
you
10th
see
on my
them
list.
treating
I
a
get it.
stranger like that, imagine how they'll treat you when they actually get to
Yeah.
know you. You know, it's like a kind of a precursor. You're treating a stranger that way. How are you going to treat me?
Are you going to treat my parents, my friends,
Yeah,
like
exactly.
somebody you haven't met before? That's definitely a red flag.
Okay. So yellow flag, precursor to red. It's like, we got to see what's going on here. I think they did something that might turn into a red flag. We're not sure yet. So it's something that you might look for. Basically, signs that we're not sure of yet to classify, is this person someone that's worth continuing to date and get into a relationship with?
Mhm.
Okay. And then we've already been through the beige. Okay. Beige, it's not even a flag. It's just
It's there.
whatever.
I like
Okay.
the color.
Yeah, it's pretty. It's,
'Cause
better
when
than
I-
yellow. It's a neutral.
When I look at flags, or the reason why I wanted to do this episode on this is to really help someone understand or gauge whether they're going to be with a person who's going to be good in the relationship.
Yeah.
Right. So that's why we look for those green, yellow, and red flags. Okay. Green flags. Definition.
Yeah. Wait.
Anyone.
Green flags
I
means
I could say it. I just want to hear from you. Like, what do you guys think a green
I
flag
think
means? Not examples, but
Green
what,
flags are like something that you look for, that you want, something that you see and you're like, wow, like that's something I want. That's a goal to have. Like that is a standard of what someone should be, like have and act like. So that's my
okay. So
flag.
green flags are still is something good.
Very good.
I just still think of
Yes.
any flag as being like a warning, like whoa, this is a flag here.
Green means go. So
Yes,
it's like that.
green
That's
is
like
good.
green
Okay.
is giving you the
Mhm.
okays. And if you have more green flags than red flags, like
Well, that's
Sometimes
easy
not.
then to name a bunch of green flags, right? What do we all want in our mates then?
Well, it's
That's
easy to is
right?
red as well. There's a
Yeah.
lot of things
Yeah,
I
no,
don't
right,
want.
for sure.
Yeah.
yeah,
exactly.
cool. No, we're going to get to that. All right,
I
great.
think as you get older, you find out that there's more red flags than green flags, but also at the same time, you're just building the list of things that you want and what you don't want, you know?
Mhm.
Yeah.
So
Well,
it's like you could have a red flag, but that red flag could be a green flag too. You know what I mean?
Sure.
It's like, don't want
Yeah.
this, but we want this instead.
and it can change over time as you get older.
Exactly, as
and
you get
gain
older.
experience.
For sure.
Cool. Awesome. All right. So let's get into some more questions. Couple quick super chats here. We got some from
Uh-oh.
Scotty Rose.
Oh boy.
Scotty Rose.
My guy, Scotty Bros.
199, which Tony asked me before. He goes, what's the smallest super chat you can give? I think it's 199. He says, shout out to my boys, to my trip boys, Tony K, Mike Denver, and Ali. And then he said, shout out to Innova Digital production team and Trip. Well, hello, Scotty. All right, Mac says, red flag. Modern women want loyalty from men, but not honesty from men regarding their standards for women.
Say that again.
I'll say it again. Modern women want loyalty from men, but not honesty from men regarding their standards for women. Any thoughts on that?
Those are two different things. I feel like loyalty and honesty kind of intertwine, but him saying that we don't want honesty from men about what their standards are. I want to know what your standards are for a woman. I think I would want to know what a guy's is, because if I didn't know what his standards were, then how am I supposed to like know if I'm either higher than them or lower than them or anything, you know? Like, I respect people's honesty. I'd rather have that than a liar. But loyalty and honesty are completely different things, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Like, loyalty is like you are loyal to the bone. Like, you are protective, you are honest, you are also like you don't cheat, things like that. But honesty is just not lying or being
okay,
honest.
so I'm going to take a guess here. And Mac,
I'm a little
maybe you can help us here. I think what I think he's saying is men have certain standards for women, which may not sound politically correct. So maybe when we say what our standards might be, women get really offended or upset and just kind of push it to the side.
Definitely. I know a lot of women that actually
Where
do
women can say, like, there's a thing right now where people are saying that women can say their standards, and it's like, you go, girl. Men say their standards. He's a misogynist. So it's like a double standard there.
I think the double standard is kind of unfortunate, because I feel like women can get away with a lot of things when it comes to us talking about what we want and like talking about icks and men. But I feel like if a man said an ick about a woman, we'd be appalled and it would be wrong.
Interesting.
So I feel like I do agree a little bit. I feel like men,
Abby, very cool of you to admit something like that.
I feel like I want to see both sides. I like seeing both sides of a man. I think that's the one thing I had to learn with dating, is that you do have to look at both sides. So I feel like, you know, you have to like take it from a man's perspective too. Like, all we do is think about women and like think about ourselves, but like we do have to see it from their perspective. So I get why he feels like that.
Is there anything based on what we're saying here from you or anybody where you've heard a guy say an ick, a red flag, a standard, and you can maybe admit that you were a little bit like, F that guy, or like, that pisses me off, even though they had that standard ick or flag?
I don't think so. No.
Yes, and I know guys have felt the same way too. Like,
Well, hold on. We'll start with
okay.
how you felt after hearing something from a man.
Oh, me?
Yeah, or anybody.
Like hearing like how they felt.
I know it might be hard to admit.
No, I feel like most people, when they're honest with me, I don't know.
I have an example. So
Yeah.
I think I have an example.
the conversation about high value man, high value woman comes up a lot. And when it comes to women talking about things they want, from my perspective, I hear a lot of just, we kind of want the same treatment. We kind of want a balance. Whereas when men are giving their opinion, it's kind of belittling. Again, this is my experience. And there are situations where it goes both ways. But I was in a conversation where somebody was giving me their perspective of high value man, high value woman, which is all your perception, how you want that high value to come out.
What'd they say?
So for them, it was, a woman who never sleeps around, preferably a virgin, doesn't drink much, doesn't go, very much confined, which if that's what you want, there are plenty of women out there who do that. That's okay. The problem wasn't that he wanted that. The problem was that he was saying that you don't have high value if you are that type of person. If you do these things that give you freedom of choice or whatever you want to do, you're less than. There was more to the conversation, but it just, that connotation and that like kind of superiority complex that comes out of men wanting the things that they want sometimes. And this is just one example of so many that I've heard. I think that's the difference. Like, it's not that we don't want to hear your standards and preferences. It's, if you're going to tell me that, don't belittle me and don't make yourself higher than me.
Well, I think in a way you're almost proving his point a little bit there.
How so?
Because I don't know, maybe in your example, that person was belittling. I don't know exactly what that person said, but the way I see it is with value is in the eyes of the buyer, right? So if I'm someone who's, we're all, this is a marketplace. Dating is a marketplace. We're all buying in a sense, right? Like you're only going to be with a certain kind of guy that you think is valuable to you. And the guy is going to be with a woman who he thinks is valuable to him.
Yeah.
And those reasons might be those reasons that you said, right? Or making someone feel bad for their choices, but of what can come from those choices in terms of will you still be attractive to guys, you know?
And that's okay. Like, again, it's no problem that he wants someone like that. It was his delivery of the message. It's you can feel their energy and how they feel about those types of people that they don't find attractive. So I can sit here and say, I like this and I don't like that, but I'm not going to make you feel bad for not being that. I'm going to deliver it in a way where it's still respectful if you're not in that box. So I think that's the disconnect.
And I feel like that's a disconnect with men and women in general. It is about delivery. Like we perceive men a certain way, but like if like about emotions or like if they want to speak to us about something, it's more of like how you deliver it and how you're speaking on it. Like if you're coming off, like how you're coming off with us. Like women are a little more gentle. If there's a man that is trying to tell us something or like tell us, you know, his feelings about something and he's coming off in a certain way, I feel like that's where there's a disconnect. But like men and women are different, so we do have to kind of, I think that's where it disconnects a lot.
Yeah, definitely. And I think we sometimes forget that men are actually a lot more sensitive than women at times, but it's because they were like their nature to hide their emotions a lot more because it's not really, not that it's not acceptable, but just like in the real world, like people don't think it's acceptable for a man to actually show his emotion. So the way that they show their emotions is through like anger and frustration. And sometimes that can come off as degrading and belittling. And I think it took me some time to kind of realize that because I used to get upset when men would talk to me in a certain way. But I didn't realize like I'd never had a man cry in front of me. Like I've never had this or that. But it's because in a way it's like they were embarrassed to do so. You know, it's because they never thought it was acceptable to do so or they'd never felt vulnerable enough.
And they can't do that with their guy friends.
Exactly. They can't do that with their guy friends.
I mean, I'm a baby. I'll cry at anything.
Yeah.
We cry. But majority of guy friends, they can't even share that emotion. So yeah, definitely.
And I think that's hard because I think it's our response to the things that will come off as we need to remember that we're also feminine. We need to stay in our feminine energy. And that when we argue back and or we scream back, we're actually bringing out our masculine energy, if anything.
Yeah.
So we just have to remember, walk away from the situation. Let him cool off. He'll cool off eventually. Maybe it'll take weeks. Men are sensitive. It takes them longer than we do.
Bring that masculine energy. Do that.
Why do you want us to yell?
Don't filter. Yell.
No, I feel like it's better just to end it there. As I feel like for some point when I used to yell more, it would actually make.
Are we talking about being in an argument?
No, just more so in general when men are just being like upset about certain things. You know, like the way when she was explaining how that man was belittling her. If a man had done that to me, maybe if I was a little bit on alcohol, I would have actually gotten offended by that and said something. And then he would have been like mad back. If like in the situation now, like if I was more sober, I would have walked away from what he said. I'd been like, I respect that, walked away. And been like, all right, now I know how you feel. And I would have just walked away because that's not the type of person that you are, you know, type of thing.
Yeah. You don't want to give your energy to something.
You don't give your energy to things that feel like doesn't make you feel good about yourself.
Yeah,
why would I choose to fight with someone that's not worth arguing with? You know what I mean? I don't know.
No, I 100% agree. 100% agree.
Okay, cool.
I'll still argue with people, but like with things like that, it's like you have to choose your battles.
For sure. But if somebody belittles you, guy or girl.
No, it's more so degrading. If you degrade me, that's a different story.
Sure. Yeah.
Belittling, it's like I'm used to it. So that's not like certain people. So I just kind of laugh at their face and I'm like, all right, you do your thing. You're insecure. But like when it comes to like degrading, when you're like genuinely degrading me and you're a good friend of mine or you're a guy that I'm into and I feel like you're manipulating me in a degrading way, I'm
call them out.
Yeah, I'm gonna call you out on your BS.
Life's
like
too short.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes,
like you are gonna get called out.
I think for
and
me
you're
it's
not
more
gonna get
about
the
like
nice side.
being disrespected. Like
Yes.
degrade anything like that, like degrading. It doesn't bother me. Like anyone who says something about me, it doesn't care. But once you disrespect me or like come at me in a disrespectful way, that's the battle I will always choose.
That's
to
what
fight.
I'm talking about.
That's
with
what I'm
degrading.
like. Okay, that's something that you work. That's crossing the line. That's something I will always fight. But if it's like degrading or like I'm just like, okay, like cool. Like if that's how you feel, that's how you feel. But like I'm gonna walk away from that. I don't even care. Because I don't want to be degrading back. You're gonna get your feelings hurt.
I think it's okay to know what you want, have your standards. I think it's a problem is when you're hypocritical, you know? It's when you know, you don't want someone to sleep around, but you sleep around. Or you want someone who takes care of themselves, but you don't care to take care of yourself. You know, it's okay to know what you want, but don't put down the people that don't fit in what you want.
Well,
Yeah.
again, it's tough because we're
That's-
talking about putting down, but we're also talking about like what's attractive. But
Not
you're specifically
unattractive.
talking about
What is attractive to you, not what's unattractive to you.
okay, because men and women are different. We're attracted to different things, so it may seem like hypocrisy, but it's just what men and women value different things.
Mhm. Well, then,
But-
people have their preferences.
Yeah,
you don't
we
need
can go
to
into
know.
we've been into this quite a bit in other lives, so I want to stay focused. Okay, let's get back to the flags. So start over here. What's one possible red or yellow flag that you might have?
Like myself?
Yeah,
or
yourself.
as someone?
Yeah, that you might have. What's a possible red or yellow flag?
I think my red flag would probably actually be the things that I post on my Instagram and Snapchat. I love going out and partying like with my girlfriends. That's like my big thing. I mean, I'm 23 years old. I should be able to go enjoy life as it is now that I'm young, before I go and settle. And so I'll be posting videos of me with class A, bottle service, things like that. And I think that comes across as me being super high maintenance, big girl club rat. But in reality, it's like I've had boyfriends that I've actually like taken out with me. And I'm not going to change my lifestyle for anyone. I'm still 23. If I'm ready to settle, I will settle and like stop. But it's like I want someone that's going to enjoy the lifestyle with me. And it's not like I party every weekend either. Like, I mean, I do like once every week or so, when I can, but I'll take breaks occasionally. I still have work during the week. I can't party every day, but I just love posting stuff on my Instagram. It's just kind of like my little art gallery feed, but I can see how people would see that as a red flag for sure.
I feel like a lot of men see that though, and they see it as such a negative thing, or they
do.
or they see like from their perspective, it's like, oh, she's a party girl. That
Or
means she
sugar
sleeps
baby,
around.
things like that.
Yeah, like she
she's
does
class A.
But like, yeah, I do the same thing, but I don't like. They have whenever like I go on these dates and everything, and they see my lifestyle, they're like, oh, you're either bougie or you sleep around or you do this, and it's like I actually like even when I'm out, I don't even talk to men when I'm out. Like that's not what we're here to do. Like when girls go out, we want to have fun, we want to socialize, we want to like let loose with our girls. Like we're not going out to like our mind is not specifically like on men. I feel like men kind of feel like more. They just kind of feel like we're going out to like be with men or like get with men. Like that's what our goal is. And it's like, no,
exactly.
like my goal at the
That's
end of the
their
night,
goal.
like it's
Well, I
very
think
rare.
I'm sure some women that's their goal.
I mean, some
certain.
certain women, yes.
So then
I
it
feel
could
like you
be,
just have
I guess
to,
this would be a good definition of a yellow flag, right? So a
Yes,
guy
yes.
sees that and he goes,
That's
I don't
true.
know if this girl's some party girl slut or if she's just a girl like you said that just wants to have fun on the
Yeah.
weekends and,
Yeah.
and have one drink and is completely innocent, even though she's going to clubs every weekend. But, maybe I would understand how that could be a yellow flag.
Yeah. Okay, understand.
Well, bouncing off of what you said, I think it's funny that like a lot of guys think you're going out and you're just hanging out with guys. Like this past weekend on my birthday, I was like at this club and me and my friends, we all like split the table for like the bar, and it was me and all my girlfriends. So these random men showed up at my table and I literally was like, you need to leave, like get out of my table. Like I don't want you here. I didn't want to be like around that. And they were just like, they're also not guys that I wanted to surround myself with, like they were only there for one thing. And that's not the vibe that I was on. It was my birthday. I wanted to celebrate it with my girlfriends. And I feel like a lot of guys.
Did you talk to any guys that night?
Oh no, it was only like my gay best friend. Like that's literally Zach. Like that's the only guy I talked to the entire night. So that was, actually no, I did talk to that one boy that I was telling you about earlier.
Did you meet him there?
No, he had actually like been messaging me for a little bit, and then I told him to come meet with me. So yeah.
Okay.
I don't know if I want to go into detail, but
No, it's okay. Appreciate the honesty there.
yeah, but I did.
That could be considered a red or yellow flag if you're posting a lot of those things.
Well, but I didn't post him online. It was more so posting me with like a bottle of Class A, which my
That's what-
driver had actually gotten me. So
Sure,
it's,
that's
like,
what I'm
different.
saying.
Yeah.
Your what? Your driver?
Mm-hmm.
Who's your driver?
His name's Angelo, my driver in Tampa. I don't drink and drive, so I don't condone drinking and driving. So get yourself a driver if you can.
Get yourself a driver if you can. This is
Okay,
absolutely
okay.
wonderful. Okay, Niso.
My red flag. I say this pretty much at every first date. So
Oh, you say this on the date.
I do. I try to be as transparent as possible. I have commitment issues, but not even that. Like if I had the opportunity, I would jump on it. But even then, I'm kind of a free soul. I kind of just like to be on my own, and I lay it out on the table and I try to say this is my lifestyle.
Hang on. Let's role play.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
I want to know exactly how this goes down.
Okay, yeah.
Okay. So we're on a first date.
It's always gonna be different, but our conversation's rolling, and we'll get on the
I'll
conversation.
have the lasagna. Thanks so much.
Yeah.
And
So
then back to us here. Here
what
we
I'll
are.
usually say is, in my past, I have been committed once only, and I tend to get very, very bored or just fly away to other opportunities. And I'm going to be as open as I can with that. And I do tend to be, I have my attachment style is avoidant. So I try to make that as clear as possible, because I can be the drifter, I can be the ghoster, and I am literally with my therapist working to be more like better with my communication style and say, hey, look, this was great, but I can't do this anymore. But it's just 24 years of habits of just letting people just kind of drift rather than communicate. So on the first date, as much as I can, I'll say I'm an avoidant personality. These are my love languages. And I tend to be a little bit flaky or non-committal, not flaky.
What's the reason why you say that on the first date?
So that way they don't expect anything else from me. And if I do meet that, they can't be surprised. If I'm not that way, then cool. Like they can't be mad about that either, I hope. And it's just like, I'm kind of setting the tone for what has been happening and what I'm most likely about to do. So I let them choose if they want to continue it, to let it happen, or like us dating. Because I just can't commit right now. I don't want to commit. Not that I can't. If I really wanted to, I would. But I just like to be as transparent as possible that I have.
So you're dating, but you don't want to commit.
Yep.
And you're saying that's out of choice.
Yes.
And how come are you dating just for sex?
No,
or just attention?
Oh, that's a good one. No, I am getting to know people with the hopes of eventually finding like a hub, is what I like to call it. I believe in polyamory, which is another thing that I like to talk about as soon as possible, because I need polyamory. There's a lot of ways to have a polyamorous relationship.
What was a polyamorous?
So like there's monogamy where it's just you and one other person, and polyamory is based on your rules and defined outlines. It's like, can you have a third in your relationship, or can you go out and date other people at the same time? So those things I'm as clear as possible. And that's one of those things that my therapist told me to do and say, because that way you're telling them, this is what I am, who I am, what I'm looking for in this point in my life. And if they don't align with that, it's just up to you to walk away from it if you don't want it.
Right. Put it all on the table.
Yeah, I see why you would
Absolutely.
say that though.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's actually
That's
really
so-
nice of you to be honest in the beginning.
I try as much as I can. I'm not saying I'm perfect. There's plenty of times where I've
Yeah.
ghosted guys and I'm nervous sometimes to even be honest with them. It just
feel that.
depends. But as much as I can, I'm just right on the first date.
So ultimately, you're looking for a polyamorous relationship.
As of right now in my life, I do believe that that's like what aligns with what I'm looking for. Yeah.
And describe the perfect polyamorous relationship that you're looking for, because there's all different kinds.
I haven't, like, in practice, I haven't done it, right? But I've met a lot of people who have, and they seem so happy. But in my ideal world, it would be like I said, a hub that I come home to, and he comes home to me, and we're happy and we're open, and we have a set of boundaries that are
primary.
clear. Yeah. And we define what our boundaries are, and we respect them forever. And it could always change. I think polyamory more opens the door for honesty and change, because I can't agree that I'm the same person today that I will be next year, 2 years from now. And I don't think one person can always fill my needs, and I can't expect to do that to someone else. So if they want to change, if something changes in their lives, it's going to hurt realistically, I'm sure. But I think the healthiest thing is to just let them walk away or do the things that make them happy. So.
And so with the other
Yeah,
people
it is.
outside of the hub, are you forming little relationships with them,
Yeah.
just dating, sleeping? Like what's happening
It's
with
up to
those
you.
people?
It's totally up to you. I've met couples that are like, we only go outside of this state, and while we're traveling, one of us picks somebody they find attractive, and we invite them in for like a third experience, like do a threesome or whatever. I've met people who are in active relationships, 3, 4, whatever. And then there's open marriages. There's so much. There's no like defined rule. You get to decide that for yourself, and it's ever changing. So
Have you done this before?
no, But in practice, right, it sounds really, I mean, in theory, it sounds very healthy. It's something that I do want to do. Haven't met anyone that I'm safe enough, like I don't feel safe enough to do it with yet.
Okay. This is all making sense now, because before you mentioned polyamory, I was really confused on why you would openly just say to someone on the first date
Yeah.
all these things that are
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of like main host side.
It's like you're basically pushing the guy away before he even starts.
Which is true. You have a point there. I tend to do that as well, because again, I have an avoidant personality. I'd rather let them walk away before they hurt me. So that is an aspect of me, which is my red flag.
And your therapist told you to say those things?
My therapist told me to tell them up front about polyamory specifically.
Oh, polyamory. Okay.
And
yes,
everything
for
around
sure.
it. She's helping me try to ghost less. So
Okay. Okay. Well, yeah. So that does sound like it could be a red or yellow flag.
yeah.
Wow, we're 2 for 2. I honestly, when I wrote this question, I was like, I'm going to do my best here, but I didn't think that it would even ever come to any person admitting that they might have a red or yellow flag.
Oh.
So let's see if this continues. No pressure.
So we're just, I feel like this definitely is a red flag. I feel like my red flag could be that I think at first I'm so guarded that I come off so cold. Like I know I went on a first date, and later on in the relationship, he was like, on our first date, like you were like our first few dates, like you were so cold, you were so like unattached, you were so like, I was so scared to like open up. I didn't really like, I talk about myself a lot. Like I'm very open, but when it comes down to like talking about the future, like what it could possibly be, I feel like I get scared, and then I kind of avoid it. And I'm like, I want to, like, if I like, I wanted to be with him, but I was so scared. I felt like I was so like, he was just like, you're so cold. I was like, I don't mean to be, because I'm the opposite. I'm not cold, but I feel like the first few dates, if I'm getting to know someone, I'm just kind of like, I feel like I sit back more, I observe him. I won't open up like too much, or I won't talk about the future too much. I'll just kind of see what he's saying and like what his side of things are before I actually, like, it takes me a few dates and maybe like a few weeks, a while to actually like open up and like give them my full personality. I feel like that's such a red flag. I feel like I need to be more open on dates like that. I need him to see my personality more, but I feel like I'm so scared too.
Yeah.
And that definitely is a red flag.
It's interesting, because as I'm hearing that, I'm trying to think about how the guy would say to his friend that it's a yellow or red flag. I'm trying to imagine, because I'm thinking maybe that's a red flag, maybe, or maybe like, like how do you think the guy would say that to his friend? Like, oh, so I'm in this girl, we've been on a few dates, this girl named Abby, she's cool, but there's this yellow flag, she doesn't open up or doesn't.
Yeah, I feel like the way he put it to me was that I was just, he couldn't read me. He couldn't read my body language. He couldn't read my emotions. He couldn't read anything for the first few dates. And I was like, ooh, I see why that's like that frustrates you, because then you can't see how I'm feeling, or you can't see my emotions. But I'm really good at like being very stoic, being very monotone, like not showing emotion, very unhealthy,
guarded,
very guarded. Yes. And I don't show emotion a lot until you get me to that point where like I want to with you. So I guess it could be a red or yellow flag. I see it, for me personally, I feel like it's a red flag. I feel like I should be more open, and I shouldn't be so guarded, because like at the end of the day, if you're going to get hurt, you're going to get hurt. You can't do anything about it. I feel like you should just kind of take that jump.
What are you afraid of?
Rejection? Question mark.
Ooh. I mean, not rejection. I think it's more of, I feel like I've been so open in the past where it's like I'm almost too open, or and then like if something happens with that person, if we decide not to pursue each other, then it's like I opened up too much. I told him too much, because sometimes I'll get too comfortable, and I used to like just kind of tell my whole life story, and they'd be like, "Ooh." But like I'm a huge talker. I'm very open, very outgoing. I never shut up. So I feel like that's kind of scary sometimes. So I try to like reel it in on the first few dates and kind of see and like feel it out. And then I'm like, okay, now I can be spontaneous. Now I can be a little like that. I can see like
So you overcompensate a little bit in the beginning to the other end of things, because you don't want to say. What have you said or been too open about that has caused the guy to reject you?
I don't know. I feel like I don't have anything crazy. Like I don't have a crazy past. I feel like I just maybe they like see my personality and see like a lifestyle or like how I talk about things, and then they're like, ooh, wow, like you're really like you're out there. And I'm like,
Let's role play.
oh god, okay,
Oh,
this is a
okay.
thing.
All right.
He loves the role play. Okay.
I smell a new segment.
Well,
New Trip segment here. Hashtag role play.
Role playing with Trip. Okay.
role play. The clean role play. We're on the date.
Okay.
I love the lasagna. And action.
Lasagna.
Ooh, this is hard. Role playing is harder than I thought. Okay.
So I'm just trying to get an idea of like, what is it that you're saying? What are you vomiting out?
I will literally most of the time on dates, I'm the only one that speaks, like because I don't shut up, and I feel like the guy, like every time I come back to eye contact with him, he's just like, and I'm like, I'm sorry, I'll shut up. You can speak now. Like I feel like I just talk so much. I have so much to say, and I never shut up. So if we're on a date, I'm gonna be talking the entire time, and I'm just like, I'm so chatty. So I've tried to reel it back, or I've tried to like let them talk, or I'll just be like. Mm-hmm.
But even though you're chatty, you don't elevate small talk to medium talk. You still stay kind of guarded.
Yes. Yeah, I don't know. It's like touch and go. It depends. But like I just feel like that is my red flag, is that I am so guarded. Like they'll never see emotion from me. For like you have to really get me to show emotion. They won't see it. Like
How do they get you to show emotion?
You just have to get me comfortable. It's really hard. Like I don't show emotion with any man unless we are genuinely like we are committed, honestly, like, or like borderline committed. Like if we're just talking, I usually don't I don't want to get attached. I don't want to get connected. If it's just, if it's just, we've been on a few dates, like you don't know where it's going. Like I have that with this one guy currently, like we've been on a few dates. He's amazing, absolutely amazing. But I don't know where it's going. Like we're both very busy. And I love that. I love the aspect.
I don't think you have to know yet if it's only been a few dates.
I mean, it's been a few dates over the whole summer. Like not a few dates. I would say like 4 or 5, but over the whole summer.
Who's initiating these dates?
Him most of the time. Or
That's good.
he'll
And have you guys had sex?
yes.
Did you have sex on the first date?
No.
All right, calm down.
No, this is
No, I'm very open. It's okay. No, we did not.
no, this is not for me to get turned on. These are very important questions.
I think it was the second or third.
I'm trying to
date.
help here.
Yeah, no worries.
I'm going to give you some ideas.
Perfect.
So wait, you've seen him 4 times?
I would say like 5 dates, like small dates, like nothing crazy.
5
That's
dates.
good.
Yeah.
And you slept with him on the second date?
Yeah. So like that would be like 4 or 5 weeks in of like talking, whatever.
And in the last 4 dates, where are these dates taking place?
So our last one was at a really, really nice restaurant. But it was just for like an appetizer. Like I said, we both have really busy schedules. So it was just a little appetizer, just like a 2-hour date, just like chatting. And then he walked me to my friends, and then that was kind of it. But he's just, absolute gentleman. But I feel like I'm kind of fine with where it's going, honestly. Like I'm fine with us just like having these casual dates, having each other's company, like doing things like that, and then just not having the commitment. But at the same time, I feel like I get attached easily. So that's where my non-emotion.
Would we call this a situationship? Is that what this is?
Yes,
yep.
but he causes
that
me
word.
no trouble.
it.
There's no trouble at all.
It's like so stagnant.
Right,
It's so stagnant.
Well, it's interesting. So I asked about if you guys slept together because I was trying to decipher if he just wanted to sleep with you and wasn't serious about more. It doesn't seem that way.
That's what I thought too. That's why after we slept together, I was really nervous. I was waiting for the text. I was like, please.
Did
like,
any
let's
of
have a
the were all the
conversation.
dates did all the dates start in public?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. That's what I'm saying. It's so confusing. It's like we go out on these public dates and we hold hands in public. We'll do stuff.
Do you guys
in public.
text in between these dates?
Yeah, occasionally. That's the thing. Like we'll text occasionally, but it's not like all the time. It's definitely not every day. It's like a few times a week. We'll be like, hey, have a good day. Hey, how's your week going? But like I said, our schedules are busy. And that's something we've talked about together as well. We're like, we love that like the other one is so busy because like it shows that like we're doing something, like we're invested in our work, like stuff like that. We'll find time for each other.
Do
throughout
you
the
love
week.
that? Or would you really actually like it? Don't worry, he's not watching. would you actually like it if he was going on more consistent dates with you, like asking you out on a more regular schedule, like once a week?
I don't know. I feel it.
Because you're busy, you're not that busy.
That's true.
Not for a guy you like.
So I feel like I like him, but I don't see myself dating him. I think right
You
now
are
it's
dating
just.
him.
Oh, really?
Well, you're not a committed relationship.
Okay, we're a
But
situationship.
you're dating.
Ooh, okay. Maybe I might be afraid of labels. Maybe that's what it
Yeah,
is.
the problem is labels.
I was like,
It
wait, we
is.
are dating? Wait a
It's our
minute.
generation.
To me,
Yeah,
there's
definitely. Putting a label on
there's
something.
there's 4 labels to me.
Okay.
You're dating, you're a boyfriend, girlfriend, you're engaged, you're married, or
Okay.
Divorced.
divorced.
Sorry.
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
That's pretty much it. But yeah, I don't know. I think maybe I had to give you advice, or maybe any other ladies can chime in. I don't think it's exactly what you want.
I don't know. I kind of feel like Abby is okay with what it is right now.
Yeah.
Are
I
you?
do too. I feel like you're.
I don't
You're
want
in the
something more.
exciting
Yeah.
That doesn't mean you're
stage.
not curious or you're not thinking about what could happen in the future, but the way you said
You
it,
don't want something more with him, or you don't want something more with anyone in general.
I think I'm okay with where him and like with what him and I are doing, where we're not committed. I did have the conversation in the beginning, like, after we slept together. I was like, if you are going to sleep with other people, I would rather not sleep with you. So like, I don't want to play that game. But in the sense of like, if he wanted to date other people and like try other people out, I like, go ahead. I don't care. It doesn't bother me. I think with the dating pool, it's kind of like what you need to do. I'm not saying like, go on dates back to back, like just see multiple women at a time. But I feel like with dating, that's what dating is. You need to like, you're seeing more than one person, like not as long as you're not like committed to this person. I feel like you can still be seeing other people. So unless there's like a label on it, or like you guys are dating, like obviously when you're dating, be committed. But if you're in like the talking stage of like just dating, you should be dating multiple people. And you're like going on dates and like kind of opening. That's how, dating in Chicago when I moved here a few months ago, that's kind of what I learned so much about myself dating different people, because like you see what they bring to the table. You kind of see what you will and will not put up with, or like things you like and things you don't like. So I love it. I think I'm just okay with where we're at right now. In terms of just going on a few dates, kind of doing that kind of stuff. I don't think I want it to go anywhere serious. That makes sense.
What do you want? What do you want eventually?
Eventually I do want. I'm a huge lover girl. I don't like the hookup thing. Like I will never just hook up with someone. I think I want love. I want like that.
So you want like a marriage?
Yeah, eventually. Yes. That's what I want. I think I'm very picky. I'm trying to find it. That's why I'm kind of like dating. Like I'll usually go on like 1 or 2 dates with a man and then I'm like, it's not going to work. And I'll tell him like, I don't like the ghosting thing. I'll be very honest and just be like, I don't think it's going to work. I don't think we work well together. If you want to be friends, sure. If not, that's okay too. But I just feel like, I don't know. I want something serious. I'm just very picky and I won't settle for less than what I want. Like it has to have me absolutely fiending obsessed with you. Otherwise it won't work.
I love that.
Yeah. So it's a hell yes or a hell no.
Yes, absolutely.
Is this guy a hell yes?
I don't think so. Like
No, he's definitely not, because he just said that.
In terms of like looks and personality, yes, absolutely. But like he doesn't give me that like wow factor. So I think right now it's so casual.
Spark, yeah.
Yes,
So why
there's no,
even
like,
waste your
spark.
time continuing to see him?
I don't.
That's a tough
I don't-
question. That's a
he's-
tough question.
oh, girl,
Well,
he
this
is-
this whole
gorgeous.
show is based on tough questions.
He's amazing. In terms of like looks, he's exactly my type. In terms of personality, kind of getting that like half and half my type. In terms of like there's just no like spark.
Do you
But
feel
it's
bored?
fun.
Right. So
Like, you get
why
bored?
do you continue hanging out with him?
She told you.
I haven't really heard the answer yet.
He's handsome. Like to look at, you're just like, wow, how are you
I
real?
think you're allowed
I like
to
that
just
honesty.
like, yeah, I think
too,
you're allowed to
yeah, I
Absolutely.
appreciate that.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Mhm.
as long as you're
He's
both
a pretty boy. We love
on
pretty
that
boys.
vibe.
Oh, we love pretty
Why
boys. Yes.
not?
I think that's just all it is. I think it's just we have fun together. We're like, oh
You have a
yeah, we
photo?
just.
Trip doesn't like this.
I do have a photo. Girl,
Trip
I can
doesn't
show
like
you.
this.
He posted on his
It's
story
funny
today.
though,
I was
if
like,
the roles were reversed, you wouldn't think twice about it, would you? But she's saying she likes this guy. He's good looking, but like it's okay if a guy says,
It's nice to know.
I never said anything.
No.
Felt like you were
I'm
leaning
sitting
that
here
way.
nodding
Felt
my
like you
head.
were leaning that way.
I'm listening.
It sounds like they're on the
I'm
same page.
I'm
though.
Yeah,
putting
we
together
think
some
we
thoughts.
are on the same page.
As
we
long
both,
as you're on the same page, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, we're not. There's no pressure. He hasn't been like, so what
No
are
one's
we?
leading
I haven't
anybody
been
on.
like, so what are we?
good.
Like we haven't. It's just that's
That's
kind of
what
why I
you
like it. It's so
Well,
easy.
yeah, because you don't want, of course, you don't want that conversation because you
Yeah.
don't want anything with him
I feel
other
like,
than what you have right now.
That's true. I feel like if he came to me and was like, I want to commit to you, like I want to pursue you, then maybe I
You'd
would
consider it.
I'd consider it. But
Yeah.
since it's chill right now, we're not no one's talked about committing, no one's talked about being anything more than what we
but
are.
you're potentially open to that.
I would be potentially. I feel like I would have to see his personality come out more. I feel like our dates are so I wouldn't
So
say
there's potential.
there's potential.
Oh, so there is potential.
There is, but I don't think either of us are gonna get there. I think
So has he been a little guarded with you, like with his personality? Or how'd
I
you
think
tell?
so too. I think we're both
Yeah.
very guarded, but we have fun together. We laugh together, but I think we're just on the same page of let's just see where it goes. That's where we're just kind of letting it roll. We're gonna see what happens.
Okay.
If it turns into something, it does. If not, cool. We will be great friends. Like we'll be fine
Are
as
you
friends.
dating other men as well?
I would say I wouldn't say dating. I don't go on dates with
Hanging
other
out in
men.
a romantic context?
No. I mean, no, just like in terms of like Snapchatting or like texting, yes, but like on like serious dates, no.
What?
I'm like-
Wait, so what? You have guys that you're romantically texting and snapping?
No, not like in a I mean, I don't know.
You just flirt with them.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
flirty, being
that's
flirty with other men.
attention.
Yeah.
Flirty,
Like
yes.
yes, just
I
like
just like to flirt.
there's
It's
some
like
men that I'm
that.
like, oh, I would go on a date
But who
with.
are
like,
these
I
guys?
would-
These guys you never met yet?
No, we've met. We've met.
You're not like
but-
actively going on dates with them.
Yeah,
You're just
but
kinda
we're just like we're chatting. We're
Where,
having
where would you
some
meet one of
good
these
banter.
guys?
I mean, I went one was Hinge. I'm not using Hinge anymore because I hate
Okay, so like dating
apps,
profiles
yes.
and stuff.
I think most of the time it's just kind of like a lot through mutual friends. So like now that I have a friend group here in Chicago, a lot of them are like they're kind of seeing who I go out with and my type, and they're just kind of like, oh, I have this friend, and like we'll kind of meet through mutual friends, stuff like that, or like or through promoting, or like through like being on boats, like with playpen, stuff like that. That's kind of where I meet a lot of people too. So, like,
So does this guy have any red flags?
I can name one. It's actually on my red flag
Please.
list.
Do it.
Can I be super open?
Yes.
Yeah.
Perfect. So
Great.
Okay, so no.
Yes.
So it was our I think it was our third date. So it was after we had slept together.
What's his name?
He
Relax.
oh, can I make like a code name?
You don't have to say his
Don't
name.
say his name.
Pineapple.
I will say his code name is
Come out, pineapple. All right, that's all
Aaron.
right.
His code name's Aaron.
Red flag, gone.
So he took me out, like I said, it was after we slept together. Third date, he picked me up, opened my door for like he's an absolute gentleman, which confuses me because we were not together, but opened the door for me, everything, took me out to
Wait, hold on.
an
I want
ice
to
cream
rewind for a
date.
second.
Go
You
ahead.
said, what confuses you? That he's a gentleman?
It's like he acts like my boyfriend, but we're not like dating. Like he gives me everything like that he would give to his girlfriend, but we're not dating. Which
Wait, why is
confuses
that
me
a red
sometimes.
flag?
I don't know, it scares me. I'm like,
So it's
But
more of an
you-
egg.
Oh my
kind
Or
of.
God.
beige flag.
It's just
So
it's
now,
scary.
the, now the
Scary.
green
Beige.
flags are the red flags.
Like I'm just,
Okay.
it confuses me. It confuses me.
I would love to like so that actually the way he's communicating with you in your relationship with them to me would be something so perfect where they're not like talking to me constantly
Yeah.
and we're seeing each other
They're
and when we
both
do and
busy.
it's perfect
Mhm.
and we're present and we're giving each other our all, but then when we're not, you might not exist in my world and I might not exist in yours, and that's okay.
Yeah.
But when we're together, it's just perfect. And we might be doing things that are reserved for girlfriends, but I don't know.
Don't put a
I kind
label
of
on it.
respect it.
Yeah.
I like it that way because again, you're more present, but I can see why some people are like, why are you acting like this way in person with
Mhm.
me? But then when we're not with each other,
Yeah.
I don't exist.
I don't know. I feel like I just because my friends are confused about it too. They're like, why aren't you guys dating? I'm like, I don't know. We're just like it's so easy. It's so easy to just do what we're doing where we're not, there's no label. We see each other a few times a week. We're just going to, I think we just both like the attention from each other. I think that's what it is. And like, we're just very chill about it. We're not like, what are we? Like, there's no pressure. And it's very nice.
I think it's because it's summertime.
Probably.
Ooh,
You know what?
sometimes
Maybe when fall
summer
comes
fling.
around, I'm going to want like, I want to settle down. Like, I mean, I do want to settle down, but I feel like it's just not with him. It's not, he doesn't have me absolutely obsessed to be able to boom, commit. Like I know it.
Do you
It's
think
not.
you could like low key be? I'm not like calling you out or anything,
No.
but like, and I'm kind of the same way in a way, but I've been working on it. Is like you might be emotionally unavailable, or maybe you both are in a certain way where it's
Mhm.
like when you feel uncomfortable with certain ways that he treats you, you feel like emotionally
Well,
uncomfortable.
she is emotionally unavailable. That's to go
Oh.
back to what we said. That was her
Mhm.
red flag.
Oh, that is
Yeah.
okay. Well,
Yeah.
that's okay
mean-
though. I mean, we all have things that we need to work on, so that's a good thing. At least you're admitting to it, and that's
Yeah.
what I did. And now I'm like actually working on it, and it's helping me find like better men coming into my life. So I
Yeah.
think that's really, really good that you're like at least
Recognizing.
being able
Yeah,
to
for
recognize
being, like,
it, you
aware
know,
of
the
it,
first
yeah.
step.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Okay,
don't know.
cool.
And also, there's nothing wrong with being a little guarded.
No,
at
never.
first.
Yeah.
You should be guarded. Honestly, there's a
Absolutely.
lot of
Mhm.
bad both sides. Like
Definitely.
everyone should
Wait,
be
can
guarded.
I tell you my red flag about what happened? But with
Oh
him?
yeah. What's his red flag?
So, third date, we like I say, he picks me up. Everything we go to get ice cream. Everything's good.
Wait, is
And
this the guy
then-
you're currently kind of seeing, or this is from the past?
This is
weekend?
pineapple.
This is pineapple. This is pineapple. We like get to the road. We get our ice cream. We're chilling, and then I look at him, and there's a hickey on his neck, and I was like,
oh
like,
no!
I was so baffled. I literally like internally gasped. I was like, that's not for me. I was like, oh my gosh, okay.
Wait, this is after you've asked him to tell you if he's sleeping with other people.
I mean, this was before we had just slept together. Like,
Okay.
like 2 days prior.
before or after.
So we slept together. 2 days later, went on this date. So I was like,
Did he say that he
Is
was not?
he 13 years old?
No.
I
It kind of looked like it was trying to be covered. So I was just like, and I didn't
Use
bring it up.
Did he say
didn't
that
ask.
did he say to you before the hickey sighting that he wasn't going to be with any other women?
I mean, no,
But you said
Hey,
that.
that is
Well-
true. But it's just like if you're
You
gonna
can
sleep.
be turned off by it, but
No,
Right.
yes,
He
very
didn't do
turned
anything
off.
wrong.
No, he did nothing wrong.
That's
He's
disgusting,
no,
though.
it is.
Yes.
I was just because I was like, does that mean you slept with me and within 48 hours of like, you know, that's weird. Like you slept with me 48 hours and in 48 hours slept with someone else. That's kind
Oh,
of
right.
gross.
I didn't think of it that way because the
That's
hickey,
really,
that's
like-
fresh.
So yeah, that's very fresh.
Right.
So I was like, is this
That
what?
is-
That's
So
why
you
afterwards.
don't sleep with multiple guys
No,
at the same time ish.
No.
For girls, I feel like a lot of girls actually, for some reason, we're more loyal to one man
Yes.
rather than anything. Like we'll only talk to you. Like we'll go talk to guys for attention, but we won't do anything else. I feel like
Yes.
a lot of men are like, oh, here's a V, here's another one, here's another one, here's another one. You know, like a lot of men just sleep around, like bounce
Mhm.
around, and like
I-
they only go to the one that's
Trip.
available.
No,
Rip, read.
women today are definitely bouncing around.
I agree.
Sometimes.
Okay,
Women
well,
are what?
Yes,
What'd
I
you
agree,
say?
but
I
the
am
girls
not.
that I hang around with
Maybe,
don't do that.
not
Yes.
you two. I'll take
Yeah.
your word for it.
Yeah.
I
But
think there's a nice little mix, and I do think that women are a lot more sexually liberated and safe in
Yes.
it than before. Which I have plenty of friends
Mhm.
that only do
I
one
mean,
at a time. I have plenty of friends who don't do anything at all, but I have plenty of friends who are very free and kind of just do whatever they
Okay.
want to.
Yeah, I could just be talking to a guy.
so
but I'll
so
be
the
like,
red
"What is it?"
flag was for
Oh, yeah.
you. Okay.
The hickey.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
Like, if we're
That's a red flag to you.
that's right after that night. I didn't say anything to him because my friend's like, why didn't you say something to him? I'm like, how was I supposed to bring that up? Like, hey guy, there's a hickey on your neck. No, I just let it go. And then
Ew.
afterwards, after the date, I was like, hey, that's when I brought up to him, like, if we are going to if we're going to be actively sleeping together, let's not sleep with other people. Like, if you're going to sleep with other people, I don't want to be involved with you. Like, I don't want to do what we do.
Oh, then
Because
you said that.
yeah, that's
Here's
after
my
I said that.
unsolicited advice. I don't know why you would see this guy again because you don't like that he had a hickey on his neck.
That's true.
You don't seem to gaga over this guy.
Mhm.
So
That's
why are you
true.
settling?
Oh,
Oh,
good
wait a minute.
question.
Okay, now this is going to make more sense. Okay, so you're a one man woman, like you've said.
Yes.
So yeah, you're doing some flirting over text or whatever, but you don't
Mhm.
seem to really be hanging out with any other guys in person. Yes or no?
Yeah, correct.
Right. So you're waiting for this thing to happen. I mean, I don't know, unless you can give me a case in which you should stick around with this guy. But you haven't really said a case. All you've said was he's hot.
There's no case to like stick around. Like there's nothing making me commit. So I think we're both on the same page that we don't want to commit. So I think we're just like, I don't know. I think we just see each other strictly just because like we enjoy each other's company. We don't want it to go further. So,
Okay.
but we haven't slept together since we slept together on our 3rd date. So right now it's just, I don't know. I don't really know. It's kind of confusing.
Yeah.
But like at least
Sure is.
it's very confusing. Yeah. But like other than that, besides him, it's just like, I'm just chatting.
This
with
is the
men.
nature of what women have to go through in terms of their hardship with dating and relationships is
Mhm.
vetting and knowing the intentions of the guy and where things
Yeah.
are going. And
Yes, because I feel like men aren't upfront enough. If honestly, like I would rather have
It's really easy. Actions speak louder than words. It's
Yeah.
all you need to know. I say that to guys too, actually. For women, it's
I feel
all
like
the same.
I'm blind to actions. Like a man could like, I think I chatted with you about this. Like a man could literally be like proving to me that like doing things like, oh, he doesn't text back for hours and hours and hours throughout the day. Like he's not busy, like nothing's going on. Or like he's actively showing me things and I'm just like, okay, it's okay.
Well, not to throw this guy under the bus, but he's clearly the reason why he's not seeing you as much this summer is because he's seeing other women.
Okay, yeah, that's true.
You're on the roster. Ooh, Abby.
I don't want to be on the roster.
Abby,
I'm
you're on the
not gonna be
roster.
Okay, we're done.
Oh,
Now-
no, Michelle, are you leaving?
That should give you the.
We were about
She's
to
to
go
go
to
to
you.
the
You should go to the bathroom. Okay. That's okay. We'll skip you. We're going to go. So I want to keep going with the red flags.
Let you
Um,
there you go.
That was a wonderful
Yeah.
30-minute explanation of your red
Okay.
flag.
No, that was good. No, that was a compliment.
No sarcasm intended.
Yes.
Oh, perfect.
If I'm bored, I'll move on. It was interesting. Okay. Tony K.
A red flag like about myself.
Yeah, you could also do yellow flag. Everyone can.
Still iffy on this yellow icky thing. No, a red flag about myself is
Yellow icky thing.
Well, kind of like you, I am a lone wolf for the most part. But also I run either really hot or really cold.
What do you mean?
Huh?
Like my temperament.
Oh.
Or not my temper, just in general, my personality. Like I'm either on top of the world or I'm just down. And it's my job. I have a very stressful job.
Are you a realtor?
No, I'm in
Okay.
finance.
Ah, right.
Okay.
Okay, so why is that a red flag, yellow flag?
Because several people I've been with, whether it was short or even people I've been in a long term with, they all have said that to me in a nice way. I've never had any bad issues with it, but they're like, man, you're either running the world and you're Mr. So-and-so and we're out and about showing me a great time, or you're just down and I don't know how to talk to you. And I agree. I'm like, you're totally right. You're totally right.
So you have like ups and downs.
I have ups and downs. I run hot and cold.
How do you
Okay.
how do you compromise it? How do you balance that in a relationship?
It's tough.
Yeah, I bet.
It's tough.
Yeah.
My job will always. Yeah, it's tough.
Do you make sure to make that known to girls? Because I feel like
I do.
nowadays
Oh,
it's
like you, I put it all on the table
that's
immediately.
good. Yeah,
Especially the
that's good.
older I get. I'm 39.
That's
like
true.
when I was
Just
younger in my
disclose it.
20s and stuff like that, sure, I'd be a little more reserved at
Mhm.
first. But now I don't care. I'm 39.
Yeah.
I will say everything.
Yeah. So wait, is it like what's happening at work? You're bringing it back home.
A
and
little
that's
bit,
affecting-
a little bit. I don't know
okay.
how to not bring my, and that sucks, no doubt. That's a big red flag for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. And even when I'm having good days at work, good financial days at work, whatever you want to say, it's still draining me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so when my partner, whether it's somebody I'm really serious with or a casual thing, when she wants to go out and have a good time, go out to dinner, let's see a show, let's do this. There's times where I can't even, I don't even want to talk to my best friend. I can't do anything.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But when I'm up, I'm the best guy you know. But yeah, that's that. I think that is my main thing.
That sounds about right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right? You
Mhm.
agree? I run either hot and cold.
Yeah. Okay.
What's your red flag, Trip?
Ooh, what's my red flag? Sometimes I'm too nice.
Come on.
That's a
Oh,
beige.
thanks, folks. If I had to say what my red flag would be, it would probably be, and I don't mean this as a joke, but like my obsession with work. So I'm really into work, and that is just like number one priority. So I'm not single, but if I was, I wouldn't say that. I don't even know if it's not a red flag. I would say it's more of like a yellow flag.
Like
It's
a
like-
beige flag, yeah.
Sure. Beige. Ooh, interesting.
Beige.
I got beiged.
Yeah, you got beige.
Why is that beige?
Well, no, it's like whoever you're with, it's like that's a good thing for her. It's like she's probably independent in her own thing. So that's why you guys mesh well, is because if you're very like your first priority is work, then something else must be her first priority rather than you being her first priority, you know?
So it has to be completely equal.
I feel like, yeah, in certain relationships, because like, why would it be like you're her, like you would be her first priority, but like she's not yours?
Depending, she might benefit from my priority.
Well, that's true, but
you know, but yeah, I would say that always being so, you know, I would have to on Sundays and Saturdays, I do work. I'm looking at my
Yeah.
phone because of work stuff. If I'm ever on social media, it's because of work. So I would say that would be it. Michelle,
Hi.
welcome back.
Thank you.
How did it all go? Good?
Yeah, it was great.
Great.
Break.
So far, everyone has said their red and yellow flags.
My red and yellow flag.
What are yours?
I don't know. I think they overlap.
Okay.
I overshare a lot. Yeah. Sorry.
You overshare. So you're the
Winded.
opposite of Abby.
Yeah. I can't stop talking. Yeah. Not right now, though. I'm a
Does he
little-
have to say? Are you sure? I'm not really seeing that so much.
No. Yeah. Overshare. Highly emotional individual.
So you overshare. Okay. Role play.
Passionate person.
Role play.
Okay.
We're on a date.
Mhm.
We'll have the lasagna.
Yeah.
And what are you saying? What are you oversharing?
Me personally?
Yeah.
I don't know. Just about my day. My interests. What I do for fun.
So you're just oversharing just normal
Yeah.
things about yourself?
Yeah.
It's not,
embarraing details.
oh, like what?
She probably goes like, do you go into like detail about like, oh, this one time at a party, and then they're like, oh wow, like you just kind of overshare like that.
Yeah, a little much. Too much. I wish I was more mysterious. Yeah.
Oh, that's what we were talking
Do
about.
you think that that's causing guys to be unattracted to you
I
or it's pushing guys away?
think it scares some people. Yeah.
the wrong ones.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
What's like the most overshare that you've ever done where the next day you just like face palm and you're like, wow, why did I say that?
Oh, yeah, totally that happens.
An example.
Oh, right now,
Yes, right now.
I don't just like my past dating experience. Maybe will reveal a little too much. You know, they tell you not to do that, right?
I
or
just
something?
learned that the other week.
Yeah.
Apparently, you're not supposed to tell guys your past
exes,
traumas.
You can't bring up your exes.
No,
No, you can't because then
I have no exes.
they're gonna. Apparently, they're
Yeah.
gonna use that as
Against
like a
you, yeah.
baseline of how much trauma you can endure and you
Or-
want to endure, or
Yeah,
something like
or
that.
they're just no, maybe.
But I think it goes both ways.
It goes
too.
both ways, sure.
Yeah, I think men
Sure.
wouldn't feel comfortable telling us. Like, if I had a guy telling me, like, "Oh, my ex was crazy," blah 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 blah.
I want to hear
Honestly,
why.
Well, yeah, I would want to hear why, but it's also be like, okay, you're talking bad about her, but it's like, what was her side of the story as
Yeah.
well? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know, because like, what if I'm one of the crazy girlfriends? You know,
Yeah.
like I was just
I want to know.
cordial.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Like,
want to
tell
know,
me.
like, what am I?
I feel like there's like that stigma where it's like you're not supposed to talk about your ex and dating, but it's like I kind of like I'm curious. I'm like, what happened with you guys? Like, what, what did you learn from the relationship? What did you, stuff
Problem
like that.
is
Like,
you're
I
never
wanna
gonna know if it's the truth or not.
But the thing is, I
That's
feel like
true.
you need
Truth,
to
I'm
not talk
sure.
bad about it. And I feel like
Yeah.
when you're at a point where you are still talking bad about your ex, you're still not over it.
Yeah.
So
that's
until
true.
you forgive yourself and you're able to talk about good things, like, oh, I remember the good things in a relationship rather than the bad things, then you need to just go work on yourself, and maybe you're not ready for dating yet.
So do you think, okay, would we say then talking about your ex on a date is a yellow or red flag?
It depends on how.
All right, is this
Well,
the
it depends
first
how
date?
it's
How
brought
many
up.
dates?
If
Oh, yeah,
someone's
well,
like,
okay.
"Oh,
It
your
depends
ex,"
on how the conversation's
Not
going.
positively, I guess. Well,
I think it's
actually,
okay to
or
be.
maybe it would be a red flag for a girl if he was talking about his ex positively.
It's,
Um,
so like the
Because
question-
maybe
whole
she's
time,
jealous.
the questions I'm asking men about their relationships is like, what did you learn from it? Things like that. Now, if he's like, oh, my ex did this, or I miss this about her, like she used to do this, then I'm like, why are we
when they
chatting
compare
about
you
her?
on the date?
Like,
Like, whoa.
Yeah, I want to know about your like
Yeah,
the
it's the
emotional
comparing.
side of the relationship. Like what did you learn from it? Like what happened? Like what do you think like your downfall was, like stuff like that. Like I'm not asking, I don't want to know about your sex life. I don't know about what you guys did together or how happy you were together, stuff like that. I want to know the emotional side of it, like what you learned and like how you were, stuff like that.
I don't want to know that.
Oh,
Even
I
if you get
do.
semi-serious with somebody, or not
I mean, maybe
curious
when I'm
about,
serious, but like the
like
first
she said,
date,
not the sexual things, but even the like
the
emotional
first date,
things.
I don't want to know what they're talking about.
Oh
Like,
no,
on
not
the
the
picnic. Like I don't want to know that.
No, but like as you get serious with somebody, I think it's something to talk about.
Yeah.
No,
Pass around.
definitely. Yeah, for sure. If you like foresee a future, like
Right.
as long as you guys been on like a lot of dates, you know, and you're
Yes.
getting to know each other more, it makes sense. And then maybe you can start bringing up your traumas once you understand the person that she is.
For sure.
But like on the first date, in the first few dates, when you're first getting to know someone, no. Like keep that out.
Agreed.
Yeah.
As I get
wanna know
deeper, as I've
immediately.
gotten deeper into a relationship, so maybe we're like 10 plus dates in, and it comes up, I don't think I'll necessarily be like, hey, I want to tell you something about my ex. But if there's a way where I can
You'll bring
slide it in, I'll bring up something that I
Casually.
didn't like as a way to actually tell her,
Yes.
watch
Interesting.
out,
Yeah.
I don't like this.
We noticed that.
I
Yeah.
agree.
Sure.
We
I
noticed
love that.
So what's
Yes.
that, Michelle?
We noticed that.
Yeah.
You notice that?
Yeah.
Great. You know what? I wouldn't even care if they noticed. Like, good, notice it. Like,
Right, you want that.
it's my
You
way.
like it.
It's my like secret way of communicating.
I
That's
guess
fair.
I
There's
do
nothing wrong
notice
with
that too. Sometimes.
I
But
also
then
do
when
that
they
too.
say something and it's kind of like that girl did the, does
Someone
the same things
asked
I
me-
do, I'm like, oh shit.
Someone asked me if I was low maintenance. Weird question, right?
For like what reason?
Low
I don't
maintenance?
know.
Are you?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think so. I don't know. I think I'm medium maintenance.
Medium maintenance.
Average. I think I'm
Maintenance.
average. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Question. Have you ever ignored a red flag in a
Yes.
relationship or a situation?
Yes.
Emma, let me finish.
I'm sorry.
She said yes, absolutely.
She's like nodding.
Next
Big
question.
nod.
Yes, go on.
Next question. Okay. Have you ever ignored a red flag in a relationship and it got you into some big trouble?
Yes.
Emma, go
and
ahead.
Yes.
What happened?
I don't even know what circumstance to bring up. I guess the first one was I was dating this one guy and so he would pay for like a lot of things for me, right? And like I never expected it, but it was very kind that he did that. And like, you know, that was just like him being the male provider in him. But to him, it was like whenever we would get in a little argument, like I would say something like, you've never held the door open for me. Like you haven't even done the bare minimum. Like, yes, you pay for things and I appreciate that. But he would bring that up in our arguments, would be like, I've taken you on all these
He would
nice
use
trips.
that
I
as
bought you
an
this, I
argument.
bought you that. And like
No.
at first I kind of was just like, okay, yeah, he's right. You know, la-di-da-di-da. Like I was in like la la land. But then I started to realize I was like, why are you acting like you just are throwing that against me when I'm just trying to express how I feel about things. Like, hey, why do I have to hold this heavy door for you to go out the door?
Were you calling him out on something and that's what made him started going off? Okay.
And it was like I was calling him out on like a very small thing because he was getting upset with me on my birthday last year. I really hope he's not watching this podcast.
We can edit this in post.
Yeah.
Anyway.
But he was upset with me on my birthday because it was like me and all my girlfriends. Shout out to my girlfriends watching this, but they were all there and he got upset with me because I was talking to this girl for a while and she just told me that her mom was diagnosed with cancer on my birthday. So I was like, okay, well, you know what? I'm a kind person. Like I'm going to talk to her about it. He comes up to me and goes, you're being so disrespectful to your friends, not talking to them right now, talking to this girl the whole time. I was talking to her for maybe 20 minutes, just consoling her. I was also trying to have a good night. Like there was 20 other of my girlfriends with me. Like we were having a great night. And he starts causing all of this drama back to back to back to back. I'm just like, I bought you these bottles. I bought you this and that, which is actually not true. I got that table for free because the owner's like one of my like really good friends. Like I'm basically the owner's like niece. So it was like nice that they did that. So it was just like a big deal that he brought it out of position. Then he got my best friend involved. My best friend and him got in an argument. I don't know. I wish I had seen that as a red flag before,
Sure.
but that was definitely something that gave me the ick.
So what ended up happening in that relationship? Did that keep happening? He kept bringing drama into the relationship.
Yeah. And it immediately started when we actually started like dating, like the first day we started dating. And technically he blamed me for it, for the situation that happened. And it was because I had sex with his roommate like a year before that, like way before that, right when I had moved to Tampa. And
This is
he
before you knew him?
oh, this is way before I knew him. Yeah. And he didn't know about that. His roommate did not tell him. And he blamed me for not telling him that when I thought he had known the whole time. And his whole friend group knew, yet didn't tell him. Yet why was I supposed to be the person to tell him that? That's like an intimate thing.
Yeah,
like
I think his friend should have told him.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
right.
I don't know. Yeah,
Like,
I think
don't
that'd
know,
be on
like,
his friend. To tell
imagine
him.
you two were roommates like that.
Yeah.
That's something that you
For sure.
Probably the
Why would-
first thing I would have said.
Do men talk
Like,
about
Right.
oh,
If
by
you
the
knew
way.
I was
Oh, I got you
gonna
your
date
girl.
so and so,
Yeah,
you would
they
have been like,
would.
hey, just so you know, I hooked up with so and so.
And
Yeah.
he got mad at me for it. And he was the first guy that I like made wait a very long time to like, you know, have
Yeah.
sex with. I was like, you know what, I'm going to try this out and be like, I'm not going to give up on the first like couple of dates. Like I'm going to actually make you wait months until we're actually dating. Like there's a label on it. But it just that happened. And then everything went downhill. There was constant arguing. Like he was constantly insecure about everything. And it was just annoying. And
But you ignored that potential red flag.
I ignored it.
So
but
there
I
was
also,
a part of you that was still kind of hoping this guy
it would
be
work
good.
out, you know.
Sure.
It would like it wouldn't, he would get over it, but it wasn't. And I don't think I was over it either. And I wasn't over the way he had reacted towards me. And I just didn't know that subconsciously, but now I do. And it's like, I wish from now on, it's like, now I'm scared to actually have men pay for
Did
me.
he
for
just have
things,
an
'cause it's
off
like,
night, or did you see signs like that later on?
Oh, there
I mean,
were
maybe he
con-
was a dick for that night. I'm not sticking up.
Oh
for
no,
him,
it
but
was constant.
it
It
was
was
more
multiple
than one,
nights like
yeah.
that. But I know he was on certain things that made him that way. So,
Sure.
but now I'm actually scared to like have men pay for me sometimes because it's like,
Well, you
what
did
do
it.
I
He'll
owe
bring that
you?
up in an
What
argument.
do I owe you? Like, you know, and it's like, oh, or they're going to use that as an excuse because I can pay for my own things. Like I make my own money. Like I come from a great family, but it's like, I want a man to be able to want to support me. I want a man to be able to provide for me. Just like I'm going to support you. I'm going to provide for you in certain ways. You know, it's like, I don't know. I don't want a man to be like, oh, I have to do this for her because she's a girl, you know, kind of a
Right.
thing. And then use it against me
It
later
should
on.
be something he should not use in an argument.
Exactly,
He should naturally
yeah.
want to. Yeah,
It's
yeah,
like,
that was
that's
wrong.
something like my dad would do sometimes.
But like we said
you know,
earlier,
it's like
some
it's-
men aren't capable of arguing in the heat of moment. Men watching this channel right now, I'm not trying to diss men, but some
Me
men
neither,
don't
but-
have the emotional
yeah.
capacity to deal with an argument and not know what to say in the heat of the moment.
Exactly.
So all he's thinking of is, and it's not right, but he's thinking of those things in the past to bring up when it has nothing to do with anything.
Exactly.
Like, was he just opening the door for you and buying these things just so he can use that later on in an argument? Like,
I
or did he
know.
genuinely want to do those things for you in the heat of the moment?
Yeah, like I didn't ask for it. He invited me and I was like, okay, yes. And sometimes I was a little unsure about it and like going on trips and stuff because I was like, I don't know, you're gonna like I felt bad, you know, in a way. I don't like everyone paying for my thing. I don't know. I feel like guilty
Yeah,
for it sometimes. So that's why I don't know. I was like, okay, yes. But then when he used it in an argument, it made me feel bad because it was like I didn't even want it in the first, like I did, but it made, and I was so grateful for it. But it's like I didn't beg for it. I didn't need it, you know?
You didn't ask for it. It's
I
just
didn't ask
something-
for it.
Right.
It was
you're
just something he
providing.
gave, he provided. So why are you using something that you provided for me in an argument?
That's all he had.
That's all he had.
had no ammo.
Yeah.
Right, he had no
He had
ammo.
no ammo, that's true.
Exactly, he had no ammo.
Cool. Interesting. Niso.
What's the question again? I'm so
Yeah.
sorry.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I forgot what the.
Oh,
Yeah,
a
me
red
too.
flag that I
Yeah. What's a red flag that you ignored?
and where it led me to. Biggest red flag that I ignored was my ex-husband. At the time, we were just talking, getting to know each other, and he was going back and forth between me and his ex. And I was very, very gullible. He was my first love, and for years, I'm not jealous, obviously, why I like polyamory now, but at the time, he was friends with all of his exes, ex-fuck buddies. I didn't care. I still don't care if that's what you want to do, as long as you respect me in our relationship. I'm not going to tell you who to talk to. You're a grown person. But the red flag was that I trusted him too much, and that the foundation of our relationship was the fact that he was going back and forth between me and his ex. That was the first big red flag. But then obviously the fact that we were children getting married, that's like a whole other story, but it led to a lot of trust issues that I carry on with me now, and a lot of problems that still carried on after the relationship. A lot of ego that I didn't realize was there before. But now I know. Now I know how to read the red flags. I know how to read the manipulation, the coercion. I mean, it was so crazy how clearly I can see it now. But back then it was like love bombing and no, you are the one, and just, I mean, you're 18 years old, you're gonna believe whatever this person's gonna tell you. And I wish I had known the things that I know now, but if I didn't go through that, I wouldn't know it now. That makes sense.
These are the lessons we have to learn.
Yeah.
Or you just watch an episode like this and you end up learning
Yeah.
and hearing about all the red flags and green flags.
You gotta go.
Sometimes you gotta get legal
to learn,
advice and then learn.
What about you, Abby? What's a red flag that you ignored?
So with my ex, it was my first like pretty serious relationship. We bought a house together, things like that. So early on, I kind of noticed that he had a little bit of anger. Like he had, and it didn't lead to anything abusive, nothing like that.
Okay.
Even if like he watched this, he's an amazing man. He is. We're fine now, but he just had his anger was just really, really bad, and he'd snap. He would get mad so easily over the smallest things, and it kind of just, it was like everything was an argument. My opinion was an argument. Everything was an argument. And I just couldn't.
What date did you see all that happen?
I would say about maybe I would say like a month in, like a few dates. And so like, I mean, I saw it and I was just like, oh, it's fine. It's fine. It's something you can deal with. And I feel like I just put up with it because I after each argument, I just felt like, I was like, oh, it's fine. I can deal with it. It'll change. Or, I'd bring it up to him a million times. I'd be like, hey, an argument, like you get so mad. Like you draw things out. You're very dramatic and you're very mean. And afterwards, like he would say mean things and afterwards be like, oh, I'm sorry, like apologize. And then I'd be like, okay, I understand. Like, the anger, I understand that, but like, it's something early on that I definitely look for that in men now. Like if I watch how men react to problems, to situations. And now I'm like, okay, like that's why like the first few
if they
dates,
can keep their cool.
Yes. And that's what I want. And now that's what I'm saying. Like the first few dates on things, like I definitely sit back and observe the man first to see if I'm even going to want to like pursue. I think after usually like the first, second date, or like just if we don't vibe, like I'll see it right away. Like I see how he acts. Like I like observing the person I'm with now first, and before they get to know me, that way, like I'm not wasting my time. But I definitely look out for that now. It's like something like, let's see how he reacts to this, or how like his opinion on this, or like I feel like I kind of bring up tempers now with men. I'll be like, oh, how would you react in this situation? I kind of ask them as a little conversation starter, and then they'll kind of explain. And if they're like, oh, I get so mad, and then I'm like, oof, okay, why though? Like, I want to know. And that's something that I definitely don't go for now, because I don't want to ever go through like anger. I feel like that my ex brought out so much anger in me. And like his anger brought out my anger. I'm very calm. Like I'm not going to pop off, especially with my significant other. Like I respect you. You are my partner. I'm never going to yell at you. I'm never going to curse at you. I'm not going to be like that towards you. But he was doing it to me. So then it brought out the worst in me. And I was that person. I was yelling back. I was cursing back. Like he was just, I couldn't do it because I was like, I'm not going to let him disrespect me. So I brought it out. I gave it back to him, and I never want to be that person again.
How long did it take you to end the relationship?
About 2 years. After a house, after everything.
Girl, a house.
Yeah. Well, like we bought the house, and then a month before I found that he cheated, I still went through buying the house with him.
Wow.
I don't know. I was so in love. Like he was my first like real, like serious thing. And so like we had been through so much, and I was like, okay, you know what? I can forgive for the cheating. Like I can forgive that. I know. I mean, he never did it again. But because like even my whole family was surprised when he found out. Like my poor father has that on camera, like me finding out. I wasn't sad. I was not sad.
Right.
My best friend was there, and he had to hold me back as I was like,
pissed.
I was like, you're gonna see like a side of me you're not gonna like. So like I feel like in that relationship I was so angry all the time. Like I feel like, and I'm not that person. I'm not an angry person.
I feel like, I don't know if you noticed that whenever you're dating someone, they're like a true reflection of you. They're like a mirror.
Yes.
Every time I leave somebody that I dated for a little bit, they bring out things in me I didn't even know existed, that like I'm grateful for the most part. But it is crazy how humans are actual mirrors to yourself,
Yeah.
and things that you don't like or do like, it's just you.
He definitely, that was the one relationship that taught me a lot. Like I learned a lot about myself. I learned about what I'll put up with. I learned like, you know, what I want and don't want in a relationship and what I look for in a man. And so I'm grateful for him. Like I said, we're very cool now. Good man. We don't really talk anymore, but like I learned a lot. We're okay.
That's good.
So yeah, we ended on a very good note. We had like a mutual friend group, but we just don't chat anymore. We just kind of took each other from each other's lives. It was like, good to know you, you know, love you, do care about you, but like, you know, let's just be done. Like it's come to the end. Let's go.
I'm proud of you for being mature with that. I've been like, you're dead to me.
I hate being like on bad terms with people. Like
Well,
no
it's
matter
not that you're
what.
bad
Like,
terms with them. It's more so you have to forgive yourself for it rather
Yeah,
than them.
yeah,
You know,
yeah.
it's like, don't forgive them, forgive yourself for putting yourself in that position. I think that's what your anger stemmed from, is like you were more angry at yourself than you were with them. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I just feel like I learned that. So like, even like after like the person I was with right after my ex, not right after, but like when I decided to move on, which is he unfortunately got part of that, which I feel so bad for. Like he got that such a guarded, mad, like a woman. And I even now, like we were kind of trying to like repair things. I was like, I'm so sorry. Like that is not the person I was. I'm sorry you had to see that. I was still healing. And so like right now we're in like a very awkward friendship. Like, I don't know what we're doing. I think I chatted with you about it, but like, I don't know what's happening. Like,
Wait,
he's like,
that's that guy?
that's that guy.
Oh, wow.
Like, not that guy. So like, he's the guy he's like, I saw
What do you mean,
after
it is?
my
What-
ex.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
So
Got it.
we dated. He unfortunately got the really bad side of me. And now he's like, he doesn't want it back, but he does. I don't know. We're like I don't know. We're trying right now. We're trying to just be friends. And I'm hoping that by being friends with him, he just kind of sees like, oh,
Your ex?
no, not that one.
Oh.
The one after him.
second
you're
one.
The one,
saying,
yeah,
right?
the man that I like, yeah, when I like moved to
Like,
Chicago.
Yeah.
No.
Don't be buddies with him.
You should never go back to an ex. Don't go
No,
back to him.
especially
You
if they cheat
never,
on
you
you.
need
Once
to
a
move
cheater, always a
on.
cheater.
Yes, you just need to move on. Ex, don't ever go back to exes. That's just beating a dead horse. You need to just let it go. But yeah, that's kind of where we're at right now with that. Yeah, that's
Michelle,
that guy.
what about you?
Yeah.
What's a red flag that you ignored in a situationship or relationship that got you in trouble?
I was dating this one guy for a year, ish. And I always had the feeling he found my friends attractive. He'd compare us, you know.
Compare you?
I had that feeling.
No.
I don't know. Make comments about them, just like a
Mm-mm.
little too interested.
This is juicy.
Yeah.
Where's this
Should I
going?
expose him? No,
Yes.
Yeah. Well, you don't have to say. You don't have to say his name, but
Someone send this to my ex.
I want to
in
hear
this
this.
way.
Keep
No.
going with the story.
No, I don't know. We had an argument. We were at a club. He thought I was flirting with someone. I don't know. He was getting drinks. He came back and we were dancing. Very friendly. It was a girl.
Oh.
I don't know.
What?
Yeah.
Oh,
I
he
don't
saw you dancing with a girl and he got upset?
know. I know. Anyways, I don't know. But this girl hit on him.
What is
This girl hit on him a year before. Sorry. Right.
Oh,
Timelines
okay, yeah.
interlapping. Right. Crazy. So something was going on in his head. We got into an argument when we got home. He was pretty drunk. Yeah, he left. It was like a whole screaming match. He left. I like took a nap. I woke up to a screenshot from my best friend of him asking her to go to a hotel.
How
To a
long,
hotel?
You
how
ignored
long
that?
were you dating
You
him
know
for
what? I
at this
ignored
point?
cheating. Never mind.
A year.
Oh,
Exactly
yeah.
a year.
Damn.
Yeah.
Your best friend too, not even like an
A
acquaintance.
random
No.
person.
Mm-hmm.
He
Your
knew.
best friend.
He
Mhm.
knew.
Your best friend, that's a bestie
No,
for
yeah,
you.
she really is. I mean, he's not her type, but like she would
Is he
never even
stupid?
rank
Wait, they hooked
Yeah.
up or she
Yeah,
showed
he's-
you saying that he was trying to hook up with me? Or they hooked up, you're saying?
No, she sent a screenshot. It was
Oh,
like,
she was
like, let's
okay.
go
She
to
was
a
saying,
hotel.
"Hey,
You
he's
you know what
trying
it said?
to." Okay.
It was like, you want to come to my hotel or something? And she was like, who's this?
I
Who's
love that.
that?
She was like, Alex. She's like, oh, did I just say his name?
Max
I didn't hear
will-
anything.
Or Trip will edit that out in
I
post.
mean,
He deserves it. Let the girls.
I didn't hear it, but it won't be edited out.
It won't
Trip
be.
said, I don't care.
They can bleep it.
Good man. Good.
No,
Absolutely not.
don't touch the besties.
Wow.
I don't know.
That's low.
I mean,
Wait, so
it's
what
not-
part was the red flag that he
Wait, so
thought
I just-
that your
Did you
friends
keep
were
seeing
cute?
him again? Because it was a red flag that you ignored, right?
I don't know if he was playing into my insecurity.
Oh
but
yeah,
I
wait,
definitely have
did you?
brought
What
it up
happened
before
right
with
after
him.
that?
Right.
I'm sorry.
What happened right after he cheated?
He didn't cheat. I mean, he tried, but like.
Oh, he tried. Well,
Yeah.
okay.
Were you done with
It's
him
like-
right away?
Yeah. Yeah, totally. On record, yeah, I was done with him right away.
Uh,
Off record.
now, off the record.
Wait, so what was the red flag that you were
No, hold
ignoring?
on. So wait, did you keep dating him?
No, I mean, no. I
But-
never claimed him. Sorry, but like, yeah, no. Yeah,
That's a yes.
no.
A little. That's like low key.
No, you
yes.
did not. You keep laughing. What's funny?
I'm sorry, but I mean, we like, I didn't give him a chance. I don't know. I think it was just like, just feelings but no, I cut it off eventually. I did, not immediately.
I
but-
think her red flag was
It's
him, like,
hard. It's hard
degrading
to
her and,
leave
like,
right
making
away.
her wanting her best friends.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I'm glad you
Making
left
little
after
Got
that.
it.
Like that.
Yeah.
That's actually like disgusting.
Especially comparing you to your friends. That's
That's-
so like
He
then you
didn't
have
compare,
to
but you
worry.
just felt
What would he
it, you
say?
know?
That would
What,
actually
how did
ruin my
how did he
self-esteem.
actually communicate
Not
that?
now, but
Um,
then, like, yeah,
yeah.
It was just like, you can read someone when you know someone,
yeah.
So he
yeah.
didn't say it.
I mean, no, I mean, there was things like maybe he was insecure about his height. I don't know.
His
But
height?
my friends were, maybe they're a couple inches shorter, or maybe, I don't know.
So what did he say?
Just I don't know.
Would he compare you to them, or he would just comment
It
about
was
them?
just
Always like, oh, I like so
small
and so's
comments?
tush.
When you know someone, you can tell when they say certain things. It's like it's not something specific. You just like
You feel
way
the
that they say
energy.
it.
yeah, just you could read.
They have a
it.
different meaning behind it.
But I'm still
Yeah.
confused. What did he say?
I don't know. I just feel like he just preferred how they look. Like he just say things that would kind of just
Insinuate.
or just
That
no.
he thought that they were attractive.
Yeah. Never
Interesting.
directly, just like
Okay.
But you got that vibe.
commentary. Oh yeah, or they just he would
Yeah.
just know a little too much about them. I'm like, oh, interesting that. Yeah.
Weird.
It was
Mhm.
weird.
Oh, there was this one time we were in the car, and the friend, he was, oh my gosh, I hope they never see this. We were in the car, and he was just like, he remembered that she needed a charger. He offered her, a vape. It was just very like without her even asking, and it's just like, I would, okay, cool, polite, whatever, but girls pick up on those things, Like,
Oh, yeah,
it
we pick
happens.
up on
It adds up. It's not
everything.
one
Like those
thing
little
or two.
those
It's
little
like it adds
actions
up.
that
Yeah.
like, okay, maybe that was a
Remembering
flirty
something
move.
is like kind of just shows that you've been thinking about it.
Oh yeah.
There's also a difference between like me and my friends talk about this a lot where we also watch how a guy treats our friends too.
Yes.
Yes.
It is very important that you're respectful to them as much as yours to us.
1000%.
Definitely.
But not
But there's
too
a way.
respectful.
There's
Exactly.
always
It's a
like,
balance. There's
what's
always a
going
balance.
on, you know? There's a line where
Yeah.
you can tell that, oh wow, that's a gentleman in all aspects, or
Mhm.
that's slimy.
1000%.
Yes.
I get
Yeah,
what
we
you
pick
mean.
up on every little thing that men do.
Especially when
Even-
men try to get you against your best friends by saying that he doesn't like you hanging out with them for
Yes.
specific
Ooh.
reasons.
We're
That's
just
Yeah,
the
or they
worst.
overcompensate. They're like, "Oh, she's not my type. Like she's
Yeah, it's
she's
like,
Why are you even saying that?
Yeah.
Why are you even saying that?
it's like
Oh, but you
weird.
mean he
There's
would say
like-
that out of context?
It just add up. It just add up. Nothing too like crazy, nothing too strong, but
I feel like men just underestimate like women. Like we think into everything. We know
That's true.
everything. We listen to everything you say, everything you say to your friends, we pick up on everything.
If you like someone, you hold on to everything. they say,
Yes,
for
we
sure.
do. Like then we'll think about it. We'll be like, and then like we really are FBI agents. Like we
No,
know.
literally.
But like off
I
our
will.
gut
I know
too.
everything.
100% off our gut. Like when I knew something was off in my relationship, it was my
Yes.
gut. And then I was obviously gaslit, but I didn't have any evidence. But then once I got the evidence, it like validated my gut.
Get out of
Our
it.
intuition and our ability to like get energy is so insane. We might not even know what's happening,
Yeah, exactly.
but your body from head to toe will tell you something and you
Yes.
will be so confused. Things again aren't tangible, but you feel it. And it's crazy. It's indescribable. And like you get gaslit all the time because there's
So-
no evidence.
I know.
Because you don't have proof.
But
And
the thing
then
is, you'll feel it, and then you'll be
Yes.
like, "This is happening," and you'll find it, and evidence will be right there, and it's like, I knew this the whole time.
Yeah.
or like because if you have no evidence, you have nothing to go off of. Because then you can't bring it up to them because they're like, oh, well, why do you feel that way? And you're like,
It's just a
I don't
feeling.
know. I just feel
Women
that way.
just have
I
like a
see,
sixth
like
sense. Well, some of them don't, but most of us do.
Well,
have, like,
still, I mean, it's okay for someone to question to get some logic out of all these emotions and feelings and intuition.
Totally.
But then we'll be
They're not
for
gonna be out of
everyone
thin
having
air.
a digital footprint because
Yes.
I
That's
don't
really
think it's
fun
going to
of
be
me.
out of thin air, but I do think there's context.
But I
to
feel
it
like
too.
sometimes then we'll get perceived as like crazy if we
Yeah.
question something, like something little. Then a man is going to be like, well, why would you think that? Or they'll like gaslight us, and then we're like, oh,
But if you
okay,
gaslight, that's why you need to find evidence before you question
that's
it.
true.
But because then when you question it and then they try to gaslight you, then you'd be like, here.
Here's the evidence. This
Here
is
you
what
go.
you're
Here's
doing.
the
Yeah,
file.
like this is what's
Yeah.
happening. Yeah.
Someone said in the chat, "Oh my God, why does anyone wonder why guys are so frustrated?"
Well, why are
That's
they? I want to know.
I'm saying that because that's a response to the last 3 minutes.
Wait, what are we talking about?
So they're saying guys are frustrated because of
Come on,
what we
Emma.
just said
About what you guys were just saying, yeah.
about our intuition and how we can.
Yeah, about our
see
intuition.
things.
Yeah,
Why we're
and
frustrated?
watching every little thing.
It's just what
How
we
is
do.
that a frustrating
Yeah,
thing? I
that shouldn't be
think-
frustrating. I think it's just.
I think they're frustrated because it makes it much harder for
For them to do sus things.
for the good guys.
Well, we wouldn't be doing
Yeah, you
that if
gotta
we were
heal.
good.
You definitely have
Yeah,
to
I
heal
don't
think
before
you make
you.
us
I hope.
And
Yeah.
sometimes us watching everything, it's not a bad thing.
And it's not us like being like watching you in a microscope. It's like more so it's like listening to the things that you
Yeah.
say. And if you say something that's different than we've ever heard.
So do you guys think when you do that, you're 100% correct every single time?
No.
No.
Well, that's my point.
No, we're not always right, but like, and we're some of the,
That's
some of
the whole
things like
point.
we're not nitpicking at men. Like when we say we look at like we see little things, we're just purely saying like we do see everything. Like we just it's not a bad thing. It's not always a bad thing. Like we just like
observers.
we're just
feel- if
observers.
we
We're
feel
huge
like an
observers.
icky way or something that just feels off. We'll just have that up there as like that's basically like our yellow flag. Like that's a flag that we hold in our head, and if it happens again, it's like something that we might look into, or we'll text one of our girlfriends and be like, "Hey, there's something off about this. Do you feel the same way?" You know.
But it's not always bad. There's also good things that come
I don't
from
know. I
that.
feel like guys should honestly try to get on that wave as well because I know some girls do a lot of sus things and guys are oblivious to it, which
Yeah.
makes me actually sad because it's happened to a lot of like my good guy friends.
Yeah, I do
That's why
think
I'm
I
glad,
do
like-
think women are more intuitive
Definitely.
than men,
Yes.
and they definitely can look some of those things over for sure.
Mhm.
And it's sad because like it'll be a guy will cheat on a girl and a girl will end up finding out, but a girl could cheat on a guy and the guy might never find
Yeah,
out.
I
because,
feel like that's
they
a
don't-
huge
and that's
stigma,
sad, but it's
and it's so
sad though.
unfortunate.
Like it actually makes me sad because it's like the girl could be cheating on her man for like a long time and then he never knows, until
yeah.
like someone tells him. That's like actually like really sad, and he could be a really good guy, and then that turns him into one of the guys that we don't want to be with because.
And I feel like there's a huge stigma. It's like if a man cheats on a woman, it's horrible. Like, oh my gosh, we make him out to be this horrible person. But if a woman cheats on a man, it's like it's not like no one cares.
No,
I
I, don't
feel
think
like-
no
No,
one
but I
cares.
think when men are in a relationship, they are actually a lot more emotionally involved
Yes.
than a woman actually is, to be honest with you. I don't know. I feel like in a lot of relationships, when you're actually in a very loving relationship, men are a lot more just when they care about someone, they care way more than not more than the woman does, but in a way it's like, I don't know, there's that standard where it's like a man will always love a woman more, than the woman will love the man. But it's not like, oh, I hate you, and then he loves you way more. I mean, it's always going to be equal, but in
Yeah.
a certain way, that's how it usually
Maybe
is.
they still. I feel like men
And
have
that's how
issues showing him.
They have
more
to. They
better.
kind of have to in a way because that will keep them and girls like us like validated like, okay, he's not like there's nothing to worry about, and like for a man it's like you don't have anything to worry about when we love you, I don't know.
Yeah. No, I get it.
Tony, what was a red flag that you looked over in a relationship?
Well, Trip, in my younger and more vulnerable days, I was a pro at ignoring red flags. Like if you want to learn how to ignore red flags. But yeah, I was also married at a very young age.
Oh, hey, what's up?
I was 20, right? 19, 20. And there was definitely red flags that I ignored. She was the one that was a big drinker. Now, there's a couple different kinds of levels of drinking. There's somebody that's an alcoholic, that when they wake up, they need a drink. And then there's somebody that when they drink, they don't stop. Maybe they're not going to drink every day, but when they do drink, you're in it. You're in for it, right? And so I picked that up on her a couple times. Again, she wasn't drinking every day.
When was the first time you picked that up?
Within a couple weeks. But at the time,
on that Arizona trip?
This was pre-Arizona. And so I still did the Arizona, and I still had a great time. Like I said, I was young. I was good at ignoring these things. And like most men of all ages, we're quick and eager to fall in love.
Really?
It's way
Yeah,
easier
really?
for us to think that we're in love. All it takes for a lot of men is a gorgeous girl like either one of you to smile and be nice to us, and we'll think we're in love. You guys, and I was talking to this with Tripp earlier,
That's cute.
you guys
That
are
is
way
cute.
better at vetting than we are. Like, again, I'm not speaking for every man. I'm not trying to speak for every man, but when I was younger, it didn't take much for me to think that I was in love. I was very good at ignoring red flags. So her drinking was another thing, but not this ex. Now I'm talking about somebody else. Anger. Now at first, this was hard for me to ignore because I like an outspoken woman. I like a woman that's gonna give it to me and tell me how it is. That's one of the main things I look for in a woman, is a woman to put me in my place. And I need to be put in my place sometimes. And Tripp calls it, I like a masculine kind of girl, is what you said.
Yeah, I think you like masculine women.
I do.
Or
I want a woman
that have
that's
masculine
not afraid to
traits.
yell the fuck out of me. I mean, again, I don't want a girl I don't want her to be a complete asshole, but I've ignored that.
I don't know. Do you?
Well, that's what I'm saying. I've ignored this red flag with the girl I was semi-recently with. She had big anger problems. And I was so good at ignoring it because at first I'm like, oh, man, I think it's sexy. I like that. Don't worry about that. We're talking about Pineapple Jr. That made no sense. Ignore the pineapple. That made no sense. We'll edit that out. I ignored her anger problems a lot, and I had ignored it for a couple years. So, and that still had an impact on me today. The girl that had alcohol issues and the girl that had anger issues, it has still semi-blocked me from opening myself up again. Now I am.
It scarred you.
It scarred me, no doubt. I'm an open book. It scarred the shit out of me. The girl that drank also slept with my best friend.
What is going on? Why are people doing this so much? That's a thing.
That's a kink.
Now
It's got to be.
she was a nasty drunk, and she came up to me the very next day, confessing, crying, telling me all of it. She knows that when she's drunk, she's a completely different person. Now, I'm not sticking up for her. This was,
No,
but
that's
I
all
did
right.
like,
Okay.
or however you want to say, I did appreciate. Again, that's not.
The
I'm not trying to.
honesty?
Yes, literally that morning, in tears, telling me how I fucked up. Here's the thing: my ex-best friend to this day denies it.
Oh my god.
You're not friends with. Okay, you said ex-best friend. Okay.
Yeah, I miss him.
Yeah.
He was like my brother. If there's one
Oh.
person I knew just as long as him, it's this other guy.
Yeah, but that's snaky. Like, why would
can't-
she admit, but he didn't?
Right. I'm like, dude, and I would be willing to forgive him. Like, believe it or not, I am very close with my ex who we're talking about. She is my female best friend.
Oh wow.
She's sober now. She's clean. She's a completely different person.
That's good.
Yes.
That's good.
And I'm close with the girl that had anger issues. I don't know. I don't know. Not close. I just mean friends. I don't mean close. There's never a future with any of them. But to this day, and I'm 39, and these relationships were a while ago, it still impacts me.
Yeah.
But kind of like what you said, are these things that I would take back if I could? Would I change anything? I don't think I would change any of these things. I wear the scars proudly. I think it helps us define who we are.
Exactly.
So again, it was horrible. And to this day, it's still impacting me. It's not fair that I judge a girl if she's getting too drunk. That's not fair. That doesn't mean she has a problem. That doesn't mean or if a girl is a little temper, well, I still like a girl with a little temper. Yeah, that will never change. But those are my couple red flags. And yeah, honestly, it's still with me today. And it's still a big crutch for me.
Okay.
What's this thing about best friends? Like it's a thing.
That's a rare thing.
It's rare.
That's
Which thing, that he's
wild.
still friends with her?
Like who do you
No,
be more
my
mad
best,
at?
my male, but she's saying that my male best friend did that.
Oh, that thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, that's a
who-
rare thing.
That to me is someone who is probably I mean, well, he was good with girls, wasn't he, or not really?
I mean, okay, yeah. I mean, he wasn't like
I imagine,
a player or anything.
I
but
imagine
yeah,
that's
he
someone
had-
who might be like, who doesn't have a lot of women in his life. It's like, okay, well, he got something easy. He let his emotions take over,
No.
and so that was low
he
hanging
knew
fruit
what
for
he
him.
was doing. Yeah.
Gross.
I don't know, young,
And to
and,
this day, he's
young,
still
dumb, and
nice.
selfish, I guess.
I have like a question, I guess, for like
Fake.
men in general, because like
Yes.
he kind of spoke about something. So is it true that like men don't need like more than a few dates to know if they want to be with you? Usually, like you guys kind of know. It's not like a
They
4,
think
5, 6 kind of
they
date
know.
kind of thing. Like they usually know right up front. Like, okay, this is the girl I could probably.
Well, let's
Date
bring
me
that to the
with.
chat. So ask that again, nice and loud into it. For everyone listening, this is the question.
So is it true that men need 6, 7, 8 dates to figure out if they want to be with a woman, or is it just something kind of right on the first date, a few conversations in, like they kind of know, like, okay, this is the person.
And we're
I can
talking
see
about
myself
committing to a woman, like, oh, I want to
But, like,
Yes.
girlfriend
Like
this
full
girl.
commitment. Like
with.
yeah.
Yes. Or is it something that like, because I know like with the whole like leading on thing, it's like, I see people talk about like, oh, most of the time like men know. Like I've seen that so many times where it's like, oh, it's just.
I have an answer, but I'm going to wait for the chat. But Tony,
Okay.
you can
I think
give
a
your
man
opinion.
thinks that he might be in love,
Okay.
but we're oblivious. We're idiots. We
Okay.
think that we know we're in love. I thought that I was in love.
Do you think it was lust?
Yeah, a couple times it was for sure.
Okay.
Absolutely. Once the dust settled, absolutely.
Well, whether you can't.
But can a guy know
differentiate.
within 8 to 10 or 10? Sure, that's possible. Yeah. Can a girl know in that many times? Yeah, I think that goes both ways. 8 dates, 10 dates. Well, it depends again how quick of a span you're seeing somebody. I think we would all have a general idea how we're feeling about this person. Guy or girl, right?
We got, someone said 2 dates max.
Wow.
2 dates max
See,
to
that's
know.
what I'm saying. Usually, like, there's this.
Well,
there's
this
like
is
a thing.
this is one person.
But there's a
Um,
thing that
2
like.
dates and that person knows that
One
that's the-
guy may know if he is physically attracted to a girl on date 1, but
Well,
may
that's
take
different.
a few dates to see if she is leading him on or not.
Okay.
I can tell if a woman is of interest to me from the first date. If a woman doesn't please me mentally and emotionally on the date, plus no unique spark and chemistry, I will not proceed to a second date.
Okay.
Like
No,
Fair
that, I
enough.
love
Yeah,
that.
that's
That's
fair.
good. That's good.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
feel like a lot of men are like just in it for one thing and one thing only.
Yeah. Or
No,
they
that's just the guys you're
lead it
hanging
on.
out with.
Oh, damn, that was a burn, but that's low key true.
No, it's true.
Well, like the guys that I've
could
been
be a
on dates
burn.
with, I know, and
Those are
it's
the
kind of-
guys.
But why is that always the thing? Why?
Well, you're also 23, girl.
That's true.
What do you expect from 20-year-olds?
Well, it's who you're
True.
picking. It's not
Yeah.
the guys. There's
I
plenty
know,
of
but I
guys
feel
that,
like I'm
that
picking,
won't
like,
do that.
Older, like my
You're getting
age.
it from all ages, is what you're
I
saying.
know, and it's like it's never ending, and that's not something that I'm trying to. That's not the energy
You're
that
not
I'm
putting
trying
that
to
out
put
there,
out there.
right.
So it's like, why is it coming at me?
Do you think they're like lusting over you at this point? And you're like, because that's my problem. I feel like a lot of guys lust,
Yeah.
and it feels like it's cool to be desired. It's cool to get
Yeah.
attention, but
Yes.
it's like,
But that's all
okay,
they're wanting.
when are we gonna get to the point where you see me as a human and we're
I
down to like
know, exactly,
vibe?
rather than just me being like short, blonde, and like easy, and I'm not easy, but it's like something that could be easily attainable,
Yeah,
but
I
it's
know what
not.
you mean.
You know what I mean? It's like, I don't know. I don't.
Well, if you are honest in the fact that you are not putting out those vibes at all, so if that is the truth, then it's the guys that you're picking.
but I'm not.
That has to be the common denominator.
Yeah.
That's true.
I'll take your word for it that you're not putting
But they
out
always seem
those.
so good. Like when we're like texting and things like that, it just like it seems maybe I'm being love bombed.
Oh, yep. Watch out for
Well,
that.
I don't know if you're being love bombed. What are they saying?
Constant things that like make me feel good about myself.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So
That's love bombing. That's literally the definition of love bombing.
okay. So love bombing, red flag.
Yeah, but then I either have that or I have men that are degrading me. So it's like either one. Like a man that's like he thinks he's funny and then is calling me like bitch here and there, like things like that. It's like, what? Like you're not funny.
Yeah. So again, it's really down to the guys that you're choosing to go on dates with.
That's true.
Mhm.
There was
There
this
has
one-
to be some sort of accountability.
I know,
it can't
but then
be
I have,
like,
like,
it
there's,
can't
like-
be like all these guys are doing this, and men can't say all these
Well, it's
women are
not
doing
all
this.
men. It's like majority of them. And I feel like now though, it's like a lot of the guys that I'm trying to choose because I've been a lot
Do you have any
pickier.
guys that you friend zoned?
Oh yeah, a lot.
What about those guys?
Well, I prefer to have them as my friends.
Why not take them out of the friend zone? Just a thought.
I think because I'm not like intimately attracted to them.
Because they're too nice.
No, it's not that they're too nice. I think it's just like compatibility wise, it's like I need a really good medium where it's like I need someone that's going to challenge me mentally, but I also need someone that's always going to be there like sexually too. You know, it's like I need they both. And that's really hard to find, but it's like, I don't know. That sounds really messed up, but it's just how I am.
Any chance that maybe you're looking at their physical features a little bit too much?
No, not at all. I think for me, I used to not look at their physical features at all. And I was choosing the wrong ones no matter what. And that they were insecure. And I was also insecure in myself because I didn't see myself. And not saying that like I'm very narcissistic way, but like I think that I'm above average in a way. But like some people might not. That's fine. But I think I didn't see myself that way. And I was actually like kind of giving myself lower standards in a way just because I thought that's what I could achieve. But now it's like I'm trying to raise my standards a lot because I think I can provide a lot more than what I was given.
So you said earlier that you give advice to your friends.
Oh, yeah, a lot.
So what advice would you give to yourself if your friend came to you and said what you just said here?
Oh, dang, that's a good one.
He's good at
Oh,
what he
gosh.
does.
You should be a therapist.
Yeah, dang. I don't even.
My brother's a therapist. I'm just a coach.
I actually don't know. I feel like
Yeah,
I
you
It's hard
do.
when
Yeah,
it's
you do.
about
I know
yourself.
when it's
No.
about
I'm with
me.
you. I can solve anybody else's
Yeah.
problems.
You could
except
do
my
it.
Yeah,
own.
like,
It's not
why is it-
rocket science. Pretend that one of these girls just came to you and said this. What would you say to them? Maybe it's hard because it's tough to be honest with ourselves.
Yeah.
And it's tough to give ourselves the tough love.
I think this is the most honest I've been with myself in a while.
Great. So you're having some champagne. Let's do it. Give yourself some tough love. What would you say to yourself?
I think I would say I really have to look at myself more and see who like I'm pursuing rather than and like ask, am I doing this for attention purposes or am I doing this for actually like looking for someone?
Interesting. Okay.
But my answer to that would be is that yes, I think certain aspects of it is that I don't want to be alone, but I'm working on like being happy with myself being alone. But at the same time, I think now I've like before like a year ago, you'd ask me, do you ever want to have a family? Do you want kids and things like that? No, I never wanted kids. I never wanted any of that. But now it's like I want a family. I want kids and things like that. So I think that's what I'm looking for. So now it's just having to dive out through more frogs.
How are you meeting men right now?
Most men that I'm meeting is through mutual friends, or they. This is gonna sound so bad, but a lot of them like will find me through social media and things like that, and then I will just scroll through and see who. I guess that's actually you're right. Physical attraction. Okay, yeah, you're right.
Not saying that you should be dating someone that you think is hideous and ugly,
Yeah.
but this seems to be a common problem that I bring up a lot in the show is
Yeah.
a lot of women are really trying to go for the top of the top man. And a lot of those, this is very simply stated, and a lot of those men that are those top to top men, the ones who are super good looking and have all those traits that one might be looking for without having met the person yet, those men just want to sleep with you. Because those men have options. Men with options usually just want to sleep around,
That's
usually.
true.
And it's harder for them to commit.
That
And
makes
then
sense.
women end up on dates with those guys and they see that as, oh, this is men, which I don't blame. I really don't.
That's true.
You know, I could see, okay, I could see how someone could think that
Yeah.
after you can jump to that conclusion for
Well,
sure.
I think
But to let
it's-
you know, it's just not the case. There's a lot of guys who
Yeah.
may not have every single thing you're looking for from that list that you showed me before the show started, the very long list of all the different flags, which is a good start. But that could potentially keep you single for a very, very long time. And that happens. Not trying to scare you, but give you the reality of what it means. And this is one of the reasons why women are actually single a lot later.
That's
So
true.
is it, you're saying bring down our physical standards, like what we're looking for?
I think that's part of it.
But men have physical standards, so why can't we have physical standards?
No, you can. He's just saying the reality is that's what you're gonna get.
Bingo.
That's what
You can have whatever you want. I don't care what you want.
Yeah.
It's whatever you want, but it's the reality of what's going to happen with what you're looking for.
That's
I can
true.
also tell a guy, if a guy says to me, well, my standard is a Victoria's Secret model and he's 200 pounds and lives with his mom in his basement.
Oof.
Okay, he can want that, but he's probably not going to get it.
Yeah.
So you might be looking for, maybe a lot of women are looking for, maybe you ladies can tell me, a guy who has this long list of things with looks and how much money he makes and how he's going to treat you. And then you're kind of looking for and a guy like that who will commit, looking for a unicorn.
Oh, my long list was the red flags, not the green flags.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, still, that is,
yeah.
there's a funny TikTok that I have to laugh at every single time I see it. And it's a guy who will show you a video of a girl saying something she doesn't like about a guy. So an ick or a red flag. And then it cuts to him going through this very long list, like 98. She doesn't like flip-flops.
I've seen
And it's
that.
this joke
I
of
did
like,
see that.
so just to give you an idea, this is where men get frustrated, right? Is like they see women who have these insanely long lists and then complain of why they can't find the right guy, or all men cheat, or all men are dogs, they just want sex, or they just want to use you, and the things that you were saying earlier.
Do you think that in a way our icks are like our way of protecting us from being emotionally available? Because I don't get why I get the ick over dumb things. Like why some of us girls, like I'm getting out of the car, like the way you hop out of the car could be like the most disgusting thing. Or like the way you ride a bike could be like, oh my God, ew. Or I could see your butt crack and like it's weird. I don't know. It's like the smallest things. Like why do we get the ick from that?
A few reasons. One, women are naturally more selective.
That's true.
You know, inherently they don't want to be sleeping with a lot of guys, right? There's a lot, like if we go to, evolutionary biology, things like that.
Yeah.
You know, there's claims that, okay, women will not want to sleep with a lot of men because there's more risks for them. They can get pregnant and they can get slut shamed and things like that. So inherently they might not want to do that. So that's one reason. The other reason is the one that can get a little hairy because women get really pissed off when men say this.
Okay.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay. So what happens is a woman will think of herself as very high value, like we were talking about earlier, Niso, and she has a false view of her value. And so she, because of social media, because of online dating, there's a lot of male attention. So when one gets a lot of male attention, they think naturally, oh, wow, look at all these guys who like me. I get to have my pick of the litter. So I'm only going to want the very best because look how many options I have. So because of that, the list grows longer and you end up having more icks and more flags and more things that you might be looking for.
Definitely.
Does that relate to anyone? Does any of the ladies do that themselves, or is anyone like, whoa, holy shit? Any revelations here, thoughts?
Are you saying like in a way that as we get that, like girls will have a false identity of them having higher value because they do have those options?
Yes, correct.
I feel like they're not real options, so they're just
Yeah,
like,
that's not
people
I don't
online,
think that's
like-
true.
They might not be real
I don't
options, but
value
they are
myself higher.
options. They still are options.
They're not real to
And
me.
reach out to me.
Yeah,
You know,
I
like
feel like until you're in my proximity, you're not real, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like we don't pay attention to the options as much as men do. I feel like we
how do you mean?
so like we can have all these men like in our DMs or like but most of the time like we don't, like for me personally, like if there's a lot of men in my DMs or a lot of matches on Hinges or something like that, like I don't pay attention to. The only people I pay attention to is like who I let in, like she said, like that proximity is like anyone else outside of that. If they're hitting on me and I'm not interested, I'm like, like I don't see it as an option. I see my options are of like people I'm wanting, like people I want to pursue, not like people who want me. So like if you're wanting me and it's not mutual to me, I kind of like don't see you as that. I'm just like, oh, okay, like it doesn't really matter to me.
Right. But still, you have what you might not go for all those options, but you have those options. And so
That's
the
true.
point is it inflates your ego.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah, that's actually true. That's why I want to be pursued rather than the opposite.
So for a man, he naturally doesn't have that, will never have as many options as a woman will. At default.
It doesn't feel like
most men.
Yeah.
The top like 5% of men will have most of the options. The top like 40% of women will have most of the options.
The only reason they have options is because either they're both have a lot of money and they're attractive. And for some reason nowadays, a lot of girls are very materialistic and only care about chasing what we call the bag. And if they have good
What's the
looks,
bag?
that's the plus. Money.
Oh,
Like
okay.
a bag full of money. Just like imagine, like, yeah, that's literally it. And it's kind of like, in a way, I think that is kind of, I feel bad for men in a sense because it's like that's what girls are just achieving to like look for. And I used to hang out with girls that were like that and honestly got to a point where it was just like it was disgusting. Like they were degrading themselves to just get money. And it's just gross, you know?
I mean, to
But
me,
it's sad because
to me, without even judging it, here's the thing: is like they can be that way, and again, it's the dating marketplace, so they're
right.
going to get what they're going to get.
But it's
so if they're
also-
chasing the bag, they're probably going to get a guy who's not going to give them what they're really looking for, unless they're specifically a gold digger. But I don't think that is the nature of most women, like in terms of literally just
No,
looking for someone with
definitely not.
money.
But I hate that those girls will give off the vibes as a gold digger, and a lot of girls that's like, oh, I just want a man to provide for me. Oh, that she's a gold digger, immediately.
That's true.
Like I hate that, and that's why sometimes I'll pay on dates is because I don't want men to like put this like idea that I'm a gold digger. But it kind of stinks because it's like, why am I being the man of the relationship now? I want to be in a traditional relationship with someone. I want someone to hold up the doors for me. I want someone to buy me flowers. I want things like that. But then there's girls out there that are like, no, I can hold the door for myself. I can do this. I can do that. That's great. But it's like, I understand why it would be confusing to men as to why it's like, we don't know what to do. Like, we literally don't know what to do. We don't want to make her mad for this. We don't want to make her mad for not doing this, or we don't want to make her mad for not doing that.
We don't know what to do. We're very
exactly.
confused.
And I totally understand that. And like girls will be like, men are confusing. No. And I feel like, and I'm sorry, no hate, but like, I don't know if you girls can agree, but it's like, I think we're the ones, and not you guys specifically, but other girls, but it's like, we're the ones confusing men because we cannot make our minds up. Like every girl is completely different. So it's like, it's kind of, and then we have social media on top of that. So it's like there's so many different opinions going on out there, and it's kind of ruining the freaking dating world. It's so hard.
I feel like we just, we're all confused. Yeah, like
we're all just
I
like
feel so bad for men sometimes because I feel like we are such like us as creatures, as females, like we are hard to deal with. Like we are confusing. We'll tell you one thing but mean another. Like there's so much. I mean, this is
literally the whole reason why this show even exists. This show exists because I have a company that coaches men because it's hard to meet women.
But
and it's only getting harder.
I think, yes, I agree with you wholeheartedly. Like a few years ago when I was dating my ex, I was definitely a 50-50 girly. And now I'm like, no, I don't really want to be a 50-50 girly. I want to be in my feminine. I want to be provided for.
Yes.
But there are times where I'll go on a date and I kind of want to be like, no, I want to treat to something. So I get it. And I think it just comes down to your preferences. It comes down to what makes you feel good when you do it. I'm a gift giver. That's my love language. So that's why I like doing that. But that doesn't mean I want to go out of my way to always pay for our dates either. Yeah. So it's just like sit down, talk to your partner, and you don't really have to be confused anymore.
Someone said here, she knows what she wants, but what does she bring? So that's another thing too.
To the table?
Yeah, to the table. Yeah. So a lot of men hear a lot of women saying, like you just said earlier, right? You want a traditional man.
Yeah.
So do you know what a traditional man wants?
A traditional woman.
Traditional woman. So do you know what how a traditional woman acts or is?
Staying at home, cooking, watching over the kids.
A little louder.
Staying at home, not working, housewife vibe. But I do
providing, caring, sense of
not argumentative, not super independent, wants to take care of the family. So that's
not argumentative. What is that up to do?
More submissive. That's what a traditional woman. Today we're talking like we were talking to modern women. I don't know. That's what a lot of women are today. Again, without judging or anything, we're just talking about the definition of what is a traditional woman, what's a modern woman. And so if you're looking for a traditional man, he wants that traditional woman. But and there are it seems that there are a lot of men who do want traditional women and are not attracted to modern women. But the problem is a lot of women today are modern. And I think that is one reason why there is a big disconnect.
Yeah.
I don't
feel like-
think, sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
For me, I've noticed that it's not necessarily the fact that we're modern, it's more outspoken and demand the respect that we deserve.
Yes.
I think there's,
And
I
so
have-
men's retort to that is, when did we ever disrespect women?
Well, it's the fact that you wouldn't give us the space to be an equal, that part, like the parts
Who
of ours
didn't?
having opinions, not being submissive is one thing. Like I have plenty of girlfriends who want to be housewives and they aspire for that. And that's beautiful. It's amazing. And they're great at it. Beautiful mothers, great cooks, the whole thing. And it just works so well in their dynamic. As for the modern woman, we are a little bit more outspoken and we demand things that, like my mother, things that she couldn't say to my abusive father growing up. Now I can tell somebody to fuck off and that's totally fine. And it's just that balance of they want to be able
But
to tell
that's an extreme example.
Right.
But of someone who's
course.
abusive. But like talking an average guy who never worked in the government, never was an abusive person, like that guy,
Even
Tony,
then,
for
it's
example, he never
by submissive.
that to-
I think
to-
they're
did that
trying
to
to
women.
say,
Like that were raised right.
from what I understand, is like they're displeased with the fact that a woman is able to form her own opinions and think for herself and also be able to say something to negate their opinions about them and their lifestyle. And they really want them to conform to that, and they don't like it when girls do that, right? That's what I'm assuming is what they're
Possibly,
displeased.
possibly. I think
I agree.
I think some might. I think that also might be an extreme example. So earlier,
Potentially.
I said like argumentative,
Yeah.
right? It's like, I don't know any man, well, I guess except for Tony. I don't know any man who wants to come home and just, after having a long day of work, have fights and argue and
And not in that
disagreements
context
and,
either. It could
and
be
things like that.
anything. It could be her lifestyle. It could be if she wanted to have an opinion on anything. It's like submissive, right? You have to submit to his ways and his ideas. So I don't know. I think there is a healthy way of doing things. And I think it also could be where men want women to submit, and it could be very unhealthy. And you can be a housewife, but still be an independent, strong
Yeah.
woman with
Yeah.
modern
That's- yeah.
opinions.
I'm sorry, but what's
Yeah,
your,
you could. It's all dependent is, will
No,
you
it does.
find a man who will
I have to bounce off
who will
something.
Yeah,
who will
go
do
ahead.
that? Who will be with someone like that?
Yeah.
What's your definition of coming home from a really hard day of work? Because when I envision that, it's like what's your definition of that for like most men, like traditional man?
What
Because most people work
Like what
remotely now.
dynamic you want with
Like
your
most
partner when you
people
get
like
home?
work remotely now, so it's like, and I work remotely. I've
Sure.
worked before too, so it's like it's really not like it is hard. Yes, it's hard, and it can be boring.
again, it depends what kind of guy we're talking about. There's also a lot of modern men too who I think maybe
So to find the
Don't
modern
care.
man, so that's
Yeah,
somebody
to
that
find the modern man.
wants an opinionated person that
No,
wants
I
a girl
don't-
to work, that wants.
Yeah.
What's the modern man?
that's a good question. I honestly don't know if I've ever really thought too much about that. A modern man might be someone who, okay, I actually have thought about it. It's a guy who does want the relationship or is totally okay with the relationship where the woman is not traditional. So a modern man is going to be okay and potentially want a modern woman. So, okay, they both, so like a dink, double income, no kids, or potentially double income, you do have kids. So two people are working and somehow I guess everyone equally splits up the chores, or maybe they hire the nanny, or they hire the people to help. And that's what it looks like
And that's,
on a
that's
basic
beautiful.
level.
That's a beautiful dynamic
Sure.
where you're like a team working together more often than not, though. And of course, correct me if I'm wrong.
That's
what
very
I hear
judgmental.
from- What is?
What you just said.
That it's beautiful, that's equal, and it is?
Well, unless I'm wrong, I feel that you said that in the sense where the other thing is not beautiful. But correct me if I'm wrong.
No, that just sounds like a teamwork that works well, and I didn't negate that the other.
Okay,
isn't.
got it.
It's just that sounds like
I
a
think it
beautiful
all
teamwork. Yeah,
works. Sure, that could work.
true.
Traditional could work. That's
Yeah.
also teamwork.
You're right.
Yeah, it all depends on what you want. Is it realistic if you can get it? and what it is you offer.
Yeah. I think you just have to align with your values and what you're looking for at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Doesn't
Yeah,
matter what box you
I
put
think
yourself
it's still
into.
teamwork though in a traditional relationship.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
my mom, she works like she doesn't work. Like she grew up, she raised me and my little sister, and my dad was the one, making the donuts as he called it when you were younger.
Aw.
And like they made a great team, like my mom like really raised us. We didn't have a nanny or anything, and I think that was like a great traditional relationship, but it's also modern too. You know what I mean? It's like my mom's still able to express her opinions whenever she wants to and say what she wants to do. Like, and sometimes my dad will give some things when he needs to, but it's like they both, at the end of the day, it's like they're both, in love
Yeah.
in certain ways. They can both give their opinions.
Lucas here from the chat said, having an opinion is not about being traditional or modern. It's about not nagging your husband, fighting him at every turn.
That's true.
Be his peace, not a part of society's problems.
Well,
Okay.
as
I
long as
state
he
that as
can
a
be
black
his
man.
peace.
too.
Yeah,
Then.
Yeah,
like,
literally.
Yeah,
As long as he
yeah.
doesn't nag to us,
It's very
it can't be
mutual.
double
Like,
standard.
we're gonna give a man what a man is also giving us. Like that is like what we're gonna like. She kind of talked on earlier. We're a mirror of each other.
Well, I think,
So-
men don't generally do a lot of nagging. That doesn't seem like a man thing. Think about it. We know men. What
Yeah,
are men
we
like?
do.
Men are a little bit more, I mean, maybe some, but like men are usually to themselves, doing their own thing. Like we don't need much. We're very simple people.
But I think in terms
Think
of,
so?
Absolutely.
I don't know.
No, I'm
I think-
asking. I'm not disagreeing.
I
I'm
don't.
just asking.
I mean, I know you
don't
personally. You don't need much. Compared to what we've heard so far of what they need or women need, and what we've heard on other shows, it's again without judgment. It's way more than what a man is looking for. Men usually want. Before I say, do you have anything? What do you usually want as a man?
What do you mean? What do I want?
In a
from-
relationship.
Like if I'm in a serious relationship, yeah. The basics,
Go ahead. Yeah.
the loyalty, honesty. I want somebody that understands, somebody that can bring me up when I'm down, which is a big responsibility. But if I'm having a partner, that's kind of important. And I should be able to do the same for them. So we work well together as a team, and we balance each other out when we need to balance each other out.
I think it's like peace, love, sex, and support.
I'm a hippie raised by
Yeah.
hippies.
No, I
as you
think
know.
well, I am a man, so I'll stop saying I think. That's what men want.
Say that again. They want what?
They want peace. They want love/support. They want consistent sex.
Yeah, they also.
I mean, I'm trying to think of other things, but everything I think of just goes under there.
I think a lot of women can give that, but I think in a way, a lot of women overthink things because men give them a reason to overthink that. Like, I want to be someone's peace, but you have to make me feel like I can give you my peace. It's, I guess another red flag for them would be it's like a constant questioning of how they feel about you. I don't want to question, why would a man want to question how I would feel about them? It should go the same way. I will be your peace once I know it's like everything is good. Like I got nothing to complain about. I'm going to laugh, blah, blah. The only thing I'll complain about is bugs. I'm literally terrified of bugs or something like that, like
Sure.
little things like that. But if you're lying to me and stuff like that, oh, I will not be your peace. That is the one thing. But as long as like the men maintain their side of things where it's like you said, men are easy creatures. Men lie. A lot of men lie.
Yeah,
least the
women
men that
lie,
I've been
men
around.
lie.
Men lie, women lie too, but I feel like
Okay, so we can throw that out because
Yeah,
that's
that's
just
true.
everybody.
but it's good both standards. But I feel like a lot of women are ready to give their piece and things like that once guys are also able to just kind of just be blunt, just be straightforward, say it how it is. Don't be afraid of rejection. Say it how it is. And that's perfect.
Yeah, women. So what women want is emotional availability.
And
Yes.
intelligence.
Yes. And an emotional intelligence. Thank you.
Yes,
There
emotional
we go.
intelligence is one thing that we, as women, we want, and I feel like that's not. But then it could also come back to men are afraid to show their emotions because of getting judged, so that could be part of it. But
That's part of
don't know.
emotional intelligence.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. But like, that's if they were, either raised in the right. I think it just all comes from like the way you were brought up in your home. Because I've met
That's
a lot
true.
of guys that are very emotionally intelligent and they have the best of girlfriends and they treat them so well. And it's like their relationships with their girlfriends are so good. Like it's just so peaceful and things like that. But whereas you have men on the other side where like they were raised in a different way or they were really hurt by a girlfriend and they weren't able to get over that. So they've kind of lost all their intelligence.
I think, again, I keep coming back to this. At the end of the day, if you don't want a woman that nags, go find a woman that doesn't nag. But also think to yourself, why
For sure.
is that woman nagging? My mom is the nagger and my dad's always complaining about the fact that she's nagging. But this woman goes to work, takes care of all the children, cooks, cleans, does everything. He just works, brings the money home. Does he help around the house? Does
He
do
just
anything?
works. Come on.
Oh, I promise you.
So
I
she
promise you.
doesn't work?
She works day and night.
Okay, so she works for money and she takes care of the house and the family.
Everything.
Who makes more money?
That's a good question. I think they were around this. They were within like 10, 15 around each, like difference, 1,000.
I think that wait, was this your parents you said?
Yes.
Are they
And
still
I've
together?
lived with them. So no, it's
Okay.
dysfunctional. But I also was
Your
the
mom doesn't
person-
respect your dad.
0.
That's the problem.
But the nagging started, the problem started with the nags, right? My mom's a nagger. Well, listen to the things she's saying. Why is she nagging? Are you listening to her? Are you helping her? Why is she always having to tell you, go to the grocery store, go get something for the house, go do this? Like, she's not a delegator. You should be somewhat of a, no matter what your functioning style is, figure out a way to work as a team.
Yeah.
She's nagging you. She's probably because she's missing something. She wants your help and you're not listening. So like, again, I don't think a woman would just go out of her way to nag you or annoy you or give you her opinions unless she didn't feel like she's heard or she's in a team. So like, again, go find someone that doesn't want to nag you. That's okay. Just why is she nagging you?
Yeah, for
I
me
don't think-
personally, like if I'm not being heard, then I'm going to nag. If I have to repeatedly tell you something that I shouldn't have to keep telling you, that's when we're going to be nagging. But like it's little things like I don't know if you I know you've probably lived with another man before, but like in sense of like living with a man, like it's stuff that like we shouldn't have to like I feel like we shouldn't have to tell you guys.
And if we do, it shouldn't be repeated.
Yeah, like it shouldn't be repeated. Like it should be a one and done thing.
What is it that you want to tell them so bad that they're not doing or should be doing?
Oh, like personally in my last relationship, it was like, it's like, you know, I felt like I took care of everything. And it's like just because he worked, like we both worked, we both brought home the money, but like I was doing everything, kind of like her parents. Like I was doing everything. I was doing the cooking. I was doing the cleaning. If I asked him to cook or clean, I would be like, he'd be like, yeah, what else do you have done or like to do around the house? And I'd tell him, I'm like, oh, can you do this and this? And he's like, oh, that's a lot. I'm like, that's what I'm doing. That's what I'm doing. Like, I want you to do this. Like, you know, I do this. Like, you know, I always clean. Like, you know how particular I am. Like, you know this. Like, you know, I did the grocery shopping. He didn't know what to buy. I was like, how do you not
what's that
know?
word? Incompetence? Something incompetence. It's like a term that men do
Weaponizing
where they like
competence.
act like they weaponize incompetence. Yes.
They've-
I've seen it
yes.
so much.
A lot of buzzwords tonight. What's it called?
Weaponized incompetence. Like they will act
Weaponized
like they don't know how to do it. They don't think of it in the first place.
Can
But
you
if they
show
do
me?
it, they do it
Yeah,
wrong.
can you show me?
They keep doing it wrong
Show you how to
until the
clean?
woman gets sick of you and she keeps doing it for you. And she's like, I'll take care of it.
Yes.
It's a thing that men do, weaponize incompetence, my dad being one of them. And like, how is it fair that you have to think of these things and ask him?
Yes.
It's another responsibility to have to delegate too. Like it's just think of it yourself too.
It's irritating.
Yeah, okay. I mean, if I were in your shoes, I would sit down and have a conversation, say, hey, let's figure out what everyone's doing in this relationship and set out the standards and the things and the rules.
Yeah.
And if they're not doing it, see you later.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
agree.
That is true. Just like
That would be nice, right?
That would be nice.
To avoid all the nagging and such.
Mhm.
Interesting. Okay, so we got a little off track. I want to get a little bit back on track here. Red flags, green flags. Do you think that there's any red flags specific to a gender?
For general.
Because there's a lot of red flags. I did
Well, that's my list.
I did my homework. So before I came here, I wrote down like all these different red flags. And then I was like, all right, let me see which ones are specific to women, specific to men. And it can be like for everyone. For example, like controlling, right? That's a red flag if someone's controlling.
1000%.
But like
that goes both.
that
It
can go
does.
both,
Yeah, both
ways,
ways.
right?
As I get older, I can give you one for a female.
Yes.
Like, so I'm 39. So some of the girls that I may be interested in now are a mother. And so if I don't think they're a great mother, that's an immediate red flag.
Ooh.
But I
you-
guess that can be with a male too. So maybe that doesn't work. I assume if that guy's a
Yeah.
bad father,
Be a
that's
Bad
father.
parent, yeah.
bad parent. So maybe that doesn't work.
At what point do you figure that out, that they're a bad mother or father?
Either the way it could be a little thing like she could be on a date with me, and it can be brand new in our relationship or courting. Does anybody use the word courting?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
good. Thank you, Trip. And we could be like on date one, and she will be like, "Oh, it's my daughter," and her daughter has like a legit problem or whatever, like something with so and so, or she's heard about this or whatever her daughter's real problem was, and she'll be like, "I'll just get to it later." I'm like, "No, man, that's a buzzkill for me. You should be like, wait, hold on, Tony, I'm gonna get up. I gotta take this. This is my
Yeah.
don't be a passive parent in front of me.
Yeah.
That's a big turn off.
Yep.
But
That's valid.
that's not gender specific. That's not gender
No.
specific, I guess.
No.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I have a
I don't
gender
know.
specific one.
I mean, it's tough to ask now because we just went through it, but I would wonder what a woman would say if we gave that example and how a woman would react to
If
that.
a man was a bad father,
Well, not a bad. If I said,
or not bad,
what do you think of a guy who's a bad
You're
father?
saying if the roles were reversed in what I just said,
Yeah, I'm curious how they would react.
ask them.
Well, it's tough. It's like it's hard to. It's
Let's
hard.
say you
It's
guys
hard.
were a little bit older.
It's hard to
I'd
make
say
that
guys would
experiment
be
at
a
this
bad
point.
mother than a bad father, in my opinion.
Yes, I was
I
going to
don't
say that.
agree.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
I think
It's-
daddy
it
and
feels
mommy issues
different.
are both going to be really
I
bad
mean,
at the end of the
obviously,
day.
Right,
but
so what are
you
the
were
ones-
living in your mother's
Yeah, it
womb
feels
for
different.
9 months? So it's a lot
It's a little
different. A
different. I
mother's
get
love
it.
will always be different than a father's love.
Sure.
I mean, obviously they're both going to be the same, but for some reason, it's like you're
I get
more
that.
connected with your mom in a way. I don't know how to explain it, but yeah.
Okay, so what are some of the red flags that you think are specific to men and to women?
Oh, I have one for women. For girls, like in general, I don't know. For guys, they need to watch out for this too. But
Okay.
like, if your girl is, or any girl in general, is making fun of her, like one of her really good friends, just to
Yeah.
impress herself around you, so she's degrading her best friend around you. To make
Wow,
herself
that's a
look
good one. I thought I had the ultimate
Immediately.
list here. That's
Oh, that's on my
interesting.
list. I think it's like
No, I'm looking at my
Oh.
list.
You haven't seen a guy do
I
that?
sent him a list too. What?
You haven't seen a guy do that to his
Make fun of
friend?
his friends.
Well, I feel
No, a
like
guy. But I think the point is a guy maybe has done that, but how would a woman react to that?
It's
Would he be?
different for a
Would she not
woman.
care
I would.
as much as a guy would?
guys are like, oh,
Situational.
yeah, it's funny.
I
you
feel
know?
like in guy friendships, you guys make fun of each other so
You're
much.
mean.
I'm literally
They're
sitting there. I'm
mean.
like, oh my god! If my girlfriend said this to me, I'd be in tears. Like, you
Yeah.
guys are ruthless to each other. But I feel like that's your guys' dynamic. Like, that's how men are
A little
to each
bit.
other.
A little
But
bit.
like now, if it's like in a serious note, where like they're genuinely degrading their friend, that's different. But like, I feel like we can't tell.
You don't see that with guys, but
Intention.
with
Yeah.
girls, it's like when you see that, that's like a
That's
major red
serious.
Oh,
flag.
interesting. So
Girls
even a
don't do
light
that.
degradation of her friend
Yes.
is a big deal.
Yes, we
Well,
don't
it's
do
like,
that to each
why
other.
would
I
you
feel like.
Learn
demean your
something new.
friends? It's
Yeah.
like either you're jealous or you're intimidated. Like, why would you be making fun of your friend just to make yourself look good?
I mean, I agree. I would be totally turned off if
If
I
a
was
girl
on a
did
date
that,
and
yeah.
she ever said that.
Yeah.
You know, outside of the exception that maybe she's like going to fight with the person, but like saying that,
Even then.
Even
yeah, I would
then,
hate
No.
that.
You don't make that public with your friends.
Like thinking about my friends, I would never, even
Mm-mm.
around a man. I would never do that to my friends. I would never just intentionally be like, oh my god, like I.
if my
couldn't.
friends know I'm annoyed with them, I'll literally just text me like, we'll talk about this like
Yeah,
later.
like
I don't want
do
to
it
make
in
it.
public.
We don't
Like,
make it
don't
public.
do it around a man. Like that's just don't do it around in public in general. Like around anyone else is so disrespectful. I could never. So I feel like if they are doing that, then that is a red flag. That
1000%.
says
Yeah.
something about their personality, like their demeanor. I don't like that. Yeah, that's horrible.
Listen up, guys. This is good stuff. What else? It could be for men too.
Do you think guys need friends that are girls too? Is that like a green flag?
Need.
Do you prefer that they have friends that are girls?
Yes.
Glad you brought this up,
Yes.
Michelle. I got some
It's
thoughts
like-
on this.
I don't.
Yeah. You
I don't.
prefer
Not even one
to?
girl.
No, I don't prefer that they're friends with all girls. I thought that's what you were.
That they have
Oh.
like a
Or like
woman in their
is
life
it a
That's
yellow
fine.
flag
that they
if
respect, that they
Yeah,
can go
no,
to.
that's
like-
fine.
Yes.
But if they're
Yeah.
friends with like mainly girls, that's weird. I'd honestly, no offense, but like I'd probably question their sexuality in a way. No offense to anyone, but it's just like
I just don't see you. I don't think you see that often.
oh,
Like,
I
I don't
do.
know many straight men who have a lot of female friends.
Yeah.
I
Well,
think it
two of
can,
my
it can
good
be
guy
a
friends
red
too.
flag sometimes. It depends. It
Mhm.
depends on.
Although
But is it a red flag for us to have guy friends?
my
Like-
brother does, but again,
Yeah,
exception.
it
I
could-
don't
yeah,
I don't
do
think you
guys-
see that too often.
Oh no shame to you.
Do guys prefer girls to have male like guy friends?
Here's what okay.
Yeah.
I'll
Like,
tell
how do
I'll
men
tell you what
view
I
that?
think.
Huh.
This is the one that you just said, Michelle. This is on my list of a big difference between men and
Not
women.
original.
Men will be more unattracted to a girl he's dating that has multiple guy friends
Yeah.
than a woman will be if a guy that she's dating has multiple girl friends.
Yeah.
I've gotten this a lot actually. Like, I ask this pretty much with any guy that I date or any friends, how they feel about me having guy friends, or in general, do they think that it's possible for a girl to be friends with a guy? That's like, I feel like we all have this conversation, and the mixed reviews are amazing. And it's clear to see, like, obviously from a guy's perspective, you see how you guys interact within each other and how you speak with girls and guys. You have your own lingo. So it's really interesting to see the perspective of men that are scared when girls have a friend that is a guy, because they're like, I know how he's thinking. I know what he's thinking. So even
Right.
if I trust you, I won't trust a guy. So I get that perspective, but I also get, no, it's fine. I trust you and I respect it as long as you are strong enough to create a boundary and not cross it. One time I even did a test. I had a really, really, really good friend of mine. He had no idea that I was going to call him. I was on a date with a guy who we were having this debate. And I was like, I can promise you, I can call my guy friend, because he was so convinced that no matter what, all of my guy friends would sleep with me if I opened the door even slightly. So I called my guy friend and he was so confused. He's like, no, absolutely not. Why would I ever do that? On the phone, candid, not planned. So it was really nice to kind of prove that point that it is possible.
Mhm.
Even if I was like very flirtatious, and I overdid it with the acting too. I was very much like, come over, this and that. And he's like, no, absolutely not. Are you okay? Like, so it made me feel safe in that friendship, but it also made me feel very validated that yes, I can have a guy be my friend and not want to get in my pants.
Yeah.
It felt good to be right too. So.
I do think. Okay, so here's the problem with it.
probably rare.
It's not so much. I don't know if it's so much jealousy. Well, I guess it's all kind of intertwined. It's a mixture of jealousy, but it's also, I would find it almost disrespectful, because if a woman has a lot of male friends, women are not stupid. They know that if they have a lot of guy friends, most of them probably want to sleep with that woman. Other exceptions, of course, but in that case, it's just the truth. Like, the average of if you got 10 guy friends, if I was on a date with a girl and she told me she's like these 10 best guy friends, there's no way that all 10 of those guys are not trying to sleep with her. And there's no way that she doesn't know that.
But
And there's
why-
no way that probably one of those guys was someone maybe she hooked up with once and then friend zoned or whatever. So
I feel like
that would be,
So let's say a guy
so that would be
has
a red
10
flag.
friends that are girls. How many of those girls do you think are actually interested in him, or it doesn't work that way?
I would think that
Obviously, a less.
I
of a
would think a
number.
minority would be interested. Yeah, maybe there's one that's like, I likes him and is kind of sticking around, maybe. But women, they have more options. Men don't. That's why we get, like Tony said, like, we fall in love kind of fast. We stick around. We can get possessive at times. We get really into women. I tell guys all the time, like, I have to tell guys so much, like, don't date your coworkers. Don't date your coworkers.
Don't
And
do
that's a
that.
whole other discussion. But the reason why that happens, or at least my theories, is because men don't have a lot of options. So who's the closest to them that they might have options with?
Yeah.
The people they spend all day with is the people that they work with. So the point being is that men just don't have as many options, and women do. And women also, as you know, they friend zone guys so fast. So just because, like, you're friends with a guy doesn't mean you want him. Most likely you probably don't.
Well, just because he wants us, why would it make us?
Yeah, I feel
want
like
him?
they shouldn't have to. Like, we do have boundaries. It's like I
Yeah.
have lots of guy friends. Like, I feel like our man shouldn't have to question our boundaries. Like we can draw a line with our male friends.
I think they more so are men, like guys question more so the man side of it. Because it's like if a man knows the other guy's intentions, it's like that's what kind of leads them to, oh no, if I mess up, who's she gonna run to? Her best guy friend. What's her best guy friend gonna do? Oh, try to comfort her in like, you know, certain ways and like take her from me.
Yeah,
So
I'm sorry. I wouldn't trust that guy.
Yeah, that's literally how guys think of it.
I will try to, but I just don't know if I could. And it's not an insecurity. It wouldn't be like, oh, I think I'm a loser. Like I can love myself and have the most self-esteem, but it doesn't matter whether I do or I don't. It won't take with the fact that I just don't know the intentions of that guy.
Exactly.
And more importantly for me is she's not stupid and she knows, yet she still has that and will do that. So
I have genuine guy friends. I think so.
For sure you do.
I'm very confident that I do.
Oh, but and none of them want to sleep with you?
Honestly, I find it so attractive when a guy is secure enough that I can just be friends with who I want.
Yes, and like do what you want.
And like it goes both ways. Like I like when a girl's like they are secure enough that whoever they're seeing can be friends with whoever. You know, because people are gonna just do what they want, you know.
Exactly.
You can't control what people do.
And I feel like from my perspective, I kind of like when my partner has girlfriends because I mean, just most recent, like my ex, he had like 2 really good like girlfriends, and anytime something like we would get into an argument about something, like they would be there for him and they would kind of make him aware of my side. And I love that because I met those girls and they were amazing. Mm-hmm. And they were like, yeah, he's came to us about this. And I'm like, they like finally like those girlfriends can give them a perspective of what I'm feeling and be like, no, you did mess up, when he's like, I didn't mess up. And then they have to reality check and be like, okay, think of it from her side, look at it from a feminine side. Like I feel like that's what we need. I love that. As long as they can make those boundaries and I can trust those girls and the guy and like my man, obviously, then I don't think there's an issue. But I feel like it should be vice versa for men as well. 1,000%. I feel like it should, as long as they trust the man. Like if you guys are going to date, meet each other's girlfriends, guy friends, like make a connection. Like make sure you trust them around the other person. I think that's the most
it's interesting that you said that, because that kind of proves what I was saying earlier, right? It's like women are less sensitive to it, and I think men are. Whether it should or shouldn't be, it seems to be heavy red flags. Also, I'm just giving you the information from what I talk to guys about. So for your information, for your benefit, a lot of guys are not okay with it. And let's do our best. I would encourage you to do your best instead of shaming it. Oh, he's insecure. To be like, oh, okay, well, maybe this is just in a little bit more in a guy's nature that they just don't like. Something to think about.
And I feel like if my man came to me and did genuinely tell me, like, you know, I'm uncomfortable with this, I think I would be respectful of it. I wouldn't cut that person off and be like, oh, I can't be friends with you, but I'd be way more respectful. I would be like, you know, out of respect for you, if you're uncomfortable with that, anything that makes my man uncomfortable or is seen, he sees it disrespectful, that's something I would change immediately. 100%. Like that's something we could definitely chat about. But if he's like, really, if that's an issue, that at the end of the day, that's my relationship. I'm not going to jeopardize like my man's like security with me or like anything like that, and vice versa. He should do the same for me. But in that case, I can see that I would do something about it.
It's not even like the security. It's more so like if he came to me with concerns, I would be concerned. Mm-hmm. Like even if I knew it wasn't out of jealousy, like if he's saying something like, okay, there's something going on, like either with your guy best friend, I would immediately cut it off. If like my man had said that to me and like I actually trusted him and he felt concerned about it.
You would cut it off with your friend?
Yeah, I'd cut it off with one of my guy friends. If I'm dating this guy and I'd been dating him for a while and he finally,
that friend is one of your really good mates, one of your really good friends.
I think I'd have them meet. I think I'd be like, why is there a disconnection? I'd be like, you know.
Well, no, but what if they had met and then it was an uncomfortable interaction?
Then you'd have to kind of question. You'd still have to question it, like why. I wouldn't cut it off. I would have him like sit down and kind of explain why. Like there has to be it's either him being jealous or if there's, or you do need to look at your friend. I don't think I would cut it off. I think I would have them.
Yeah. Figure out
the disconnect.
Because that's like, not fair to get rid of a good friend.
Yeah.
That's true. I don't know. My dad has always said that men are usually in it for certain things and always beware of your best guy friends. So
sure.
I don't know.
I agree with him.
Yeah. That's sound advice.
Question. And you've been very honest, so I assume you'll give an honest answer. It's not that scary.
Okay.
Are you friends with any men who have, so they're your friend, okay? They're in the category of friend, all right? But they in the past have attempted to get with you.
I have one guy friend, yes, but I immediately shut that down, like immediately.
Well, either way. So just one?
Yeah, just one.
Okay. You're 23, so you're young.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
But he's one of my really good guy friends now, but I'm part of like their like friend group.
if you texted him right now, I want to bang you, would he say yes? Assuming he thought that you were being truthful.
Ew.
I know you think that's you. I know you think that's you.
I'm sorry, Rod.
What do you think he would say?
You'd probably be like, where are you?
I'll be there in 5 minutes.
And coming
Ew.
from a man's
Okay.
like coming from a man's perspective, someone dating you, I would hate that. Like
Yeah, I
that
hate
would
that
absolutely
now.
like you
See,
have
that's
to
what I'm
just have to
talking
see
about.
it.
Like,
Do
if I had a man-
any of you other women have that scenario that I just described?
Yes.
How many?
I don't know how many. I know. I mean, there's
If you had to
definitely-
say
out of like the male friends, I do have like a good majority.
that have tried to get with you in the
Yeah.
yeah, and then Niso,
Quite a few, yeah.
Yeah.
quite a few. Michelle. So the question is, any guys who have tried to get you with you, who are your friend, they're currently your friend,
Hmm.
and they've tried to get with you in the past.
I don't think it's a gender thing.
What do you mean?
Yeah, I don't know. I think girls and guys do that.
No,
Oh,
that's
they're saying
fine. I'm
girls
just
are
asking the
trying to-
question. I'm just asking the
I
question.
was like, okay, girl.
Michelle, we got this. Focus on this. So,
Uh-huh.
any guys that are your friends that are your friends today that have attempted to be with you, how many would you say that there would be?
None. I
Zero?
don't know. Yeah, they just didn't just fizzle out. I don't know.
Okay. So
Yeah,
current guy
tensions-
friends, none
tensions
have.
come to light, you know? Yeah.
Okay. So
Yeah.
3 out of the 4 women here have this scenario. I can't imagine how many men have even close to that scenario at all.
The guy I'm seeing right now is friends with people they've slept with.
Oh, if there was out of many
Okay.
the guys that would still be my friend, it would be a lot. But a lot of guys would get angry by
Most-
rejection.
Most guys do not have this. I'm telling you right now.
Really?
Most guys. I mean,
That's good to know.
anecdotally, I've never had it.
I feel
Tony?
like I've
What?
always thought.
I've
the
never, I
opposite.
mean,
I'm
I
glad
can't
we-
remember
Oh,
any
shut
times where
up.
I've
That
had
you
a
stayed
bunch
friends
of
with.
Well, my
girls
guy
that were
friends will tell
friends.
me that.
First of all,
It's like, oh, this
there's
girl
2
wants
things
me.
that have to happen. I have to have a bunch
Yeah.
of girlfriends,
Right.
and then they all have to be, or a majority have to be, or a lot have to be women that I've hooked up with. Like, never really
Never
existed.
happened?
Right.
Oh.
I don't know. Any guys? Can any guys say that they've had that from the chat? Chime in. Okay.
Oh.
Let's move on to other red flags. We'll kind of go one for one. So I got some for women. So ones that guys thinks are red flags and specifically for women. And then I want to hear from you if you guys have any specific to guys.
I think I wrote a list, but I don't remember.
We'll think about it for a second. Just specific to guys.
Mhm.
While you're thinking, I can say another one. So a red flag would be a woman who doesn't appreciate men or masculinity.
Okay, I can see that.
Could that
That's
just
a
be a
good one.
preference or is that a red flag?
It's both, I think.
For you.
For me?
It's like a personal thing.
Oh,
If I were talking to a guy and I were coaching him, I would tell him specifically, don't be with any woman who doesn't appreciate men and masculinity. Because there are women out there,
if they're in their masculine.
Yeah.
Mhm.
whether they are or they aren't.
I think I agree with you. I think it's so smart. And for me, at least, I'm strategizing and I'm trying to make sure I'm in my feminine, but I've been in my masculine. I want to be with someone who can be in their feminine and their masculine. So I want to appreciate the both.
Yeah.
I do want more of them acting on the masculine, but
Me
I know a
too.
lot of girls who kind of appreciate very feminine men as well, don't like the masculine parts about them. So that's why I'm just asking.
Right. Well, I think that's a different conversation.
Oh,
Because I'm more saying, you don't want to be with a woman who complains about men, says bad things about men,
Yes. Okay.
is like super feminist and not in the way where it's just like all about equality, but women are better than men.
got it.
Although I can think on the other end, if I'm really thinking hard about this, I could imagine a scenario in which of course, a woman wouldn't want to be with a man who wouldn't appreciate femininity. But I can't even think of an instance in which a man has ever complained about a woman's femininity. For example, we don't say toxic femininity. What do we say? Toxic masculinity. So that's why I would say that would be more just a specific red flag for a guy.
I think it's hard nowadays, though, bouncing off that is that, like, it's hard to find guys that are really in their masculinity. And I think a lot of girls
That is true.
don't bring out their femininity unless, like, did I even say that right? But no, probably not. But unless we feel completely safe in that man is fully in his masculinity, he is fully secure in himself being a man, where it's like we feel safe, like not having to carry that like dominant wall. You know, some girls have like that wall and that barrier where it's like we have to have our masculinity out to protect ourselves.
I encourage you to bring the feminine sooner than later.
It's hard sometimes
because if you end up with a guy who is in his masculine, as you ladies want, and he gets met with a woman who's masculine, and you might have just met a great guy who's like, oh, this girl's too masculine, like she's not feminine at all, peace, and then he's out, and then you screwed yourself, no pun intended.
Well, what's a man's version of a girl being in her masculine versus her feminine?
Well, you tell me. You said that you would go into dates being very masculine. So what does that look like?
More masculine. No, not into dates. I think it's more in when I was dating. And I think it's because I was dating a lot of insecure men who just didn't know what being in their masculine was really like. Like I didn't feel like I could be.
But that's kind of unfair. You're blaming men for not being masculine, which makes you more masculine.
No, I don't think I'm blaming them necessarily. I think I'm kind of blaming myself for having a wall up and like for me having a little bit more of a not dominant personality, but like not feeling comfortable being submissive with certain people.
Yes. Yeah.
But I think that's also my way. And that was completely my fault for actually choosing the wrong men. I'm not saying all men. I think I'm just saying like I was choosing the wrong ones who didn't make me feel safe being submissive, you know? Like I felt like I had to be dominant in order to protect myself.
I think in order for women, like she just said, in order for women to have that, like our feminine side come out, we also need that from the man. If a man is giving us that, like that masculinity, we will be feminine. If we're not being like in our feminine, you have to ask why.
Sure.
Like
I can imagine it'd be hard to be really feminine around a guy who's also acting feminine.
Yeah, it's really hard.
So you just, you know, if you're not, if you're dating and your woman isn't, if she's too masculine and she's in her masculinity, you have to ask why. You have to also step back and kind of see like, what are you doing? What are you not doing?
Yeah.
At the same time.
Yeah. Here's another one specific that I tell men to look out for. Seeking, so it's kind of twofold. One, seeking lots of validation. So in general, but specific, it would be a woman who is posting a lot of half naked photos on their social media. Period.
What does that have to do with validation?
Okay, well, I guess it's two things. You're right. It would be validation and I guess it wouldn't be a red flag. Maybe just it wouldn't be as attractive. So if it's not, well, it is for validation. If it's not for your job, which is a whole other story, it is for validation. Anyone, man or woman, putting up half naked photos, you're not doing it for yourself. If you were doing it for yourself, then you can take a picture, hold it on your phone, and look at it every day if you wanted to. You wouldn't post it.
I feel
so
like
I have 50,000 photos, like over 50,000 photos. I post on Instagram as an art gallery. Once I post on Instagram like maybe like 3 times a year at max. And when I feel good and I look good, it's like I want to not show off, but in a way it's like it's not validating myself. Like, yes, I love the comments, but it's all my girlfriends that are commenting. The men, honestly, I like delete.
Are these the half naked ones we're talking about?
Well, I have like maybe 2 or 3.
Okay.
And I don't even have
I would say that would be a yellow flag, not a red flag.
Yeah. The other ones are like mainly for outfits and fashion. Like I love just.
So this is interesting. You got defensive really fast here.
I did get defensive because like a lot of my girlfriends will do that. And like I feel like a lot of people think that I think
that could be a little bit of a red flag.
Well,
Tony, what do you think?
Because my parents sometimes.
Yeah, I think it's not fair. A girl can do that and we're gonna be like, oh man, she's slutty. I don't know, it's not fair.
It's not fair.
You can see a guy at a club with his button all the way down wearing one of these low V-necks that we
Or
used to be
muscle.
guilty of wearing.
Okay, I hear
I
your
don't know.
point.
A guy can be at the beach posing with his buddies and
If
he's
it-
ripped or jacked or whatever. And he's, I don't know.
If a guy was doing that too.
Oh, you're saying if a guy was doing that too, it's the same thing.
I could see that.
No.
I could see that.
I
It's just
actually
like-
love it.
Maybe
Yeah,
this,
me
maybe this is
too. I
besides
don't
the
think it's a
point. It's
thing
just
for
most men are not
validation.
doing that. But
Well, look, I also
Yeah, a
don't
lot
want
of
to
men I
say
follow
that validation is necessarily not a negative thing all the time. I think validation is good. Any
Sure,
content I post,
yeah.
sometimes I need validation.
Mhm.
I don't think we always need to look at validation as a negative thing.
Yeah.
Whether you choose to look
Okay.
at somebody's Instagram and say, she's wanting the attention that I can't give her by myself and I don't want that, then that's okay. You can like walk away from it. But if somebody's wanting some sort of reassurance from people outside of themselves, that's okay. But I can see why you might not be attracted to it, or you
Yeah.
might not want to be the
Yeah.
only person to give her that attention.
I can see both sides for sure, but because like I personally, I do post. I feel like a lot of like bikini pictures, or like if I'm on the boat, like yeah,
As you should. You
my
feel confident
ass
in
is
yourself.
out.
You
I
feel
am,
great.
yeah, but that's the thing. Like I feel like men do get that. I feel like they think it's for attention. I don't do that for attention. I look good. I know I look good in those pictures, and like
Oh,
I'm gonna post them. Like I don't care. Like I'm not waiting for men's comments to read those comments. Like, ooh, this man said this. Ooh, this man liked this. I'm posting it because like Instagram for me, like social media for me is like how I get my personality out. Like I'm showing like my
Thank
life,
you.
what I want to do. I'm never gonna post like for a man ever. I
Mm-mm.
post that because I look good. And I think if a man, I can see why a man will perceive that as negative or a red flag, because they don't want a girl who shows, half naked pictures off. But at the same time, it's like if I'm shooting in lingerie, that's a little bit different. But this is like a bikini. If you're mad about a bikini pic, what are you mad about? I mean, you show more than that at the beach too. So like it kind of goes both ways. I don't
depends
think
how
they
many
should.
bikini pictures are up. You got
I
a
would
full
say
feed
You're
of it.
wearing them already.
I have 12
You're
pictures up on my
outside.
Instagram. Like
People
3 of them are
see
bikini pictures.
Yes, I would
And
say
felt
most
great
of
in
them, And it's not, I just think they shouldn't look at it as we want attention from it. Like we want other men's attention. I promise you a majority of girls like aren't like, I'm going to post this for a man. I promise you. If you ask any woman like why they post a booty pic,
Yeah.
It's not
Unless
for
we
a
have a
man.
crush and we want to
Yeah.
hit the
Yes.
target
No,
audience.
I do that
If
for my
it-
story.
Well, then there you go. It is for a man.
I do that for my story.
Yeah.
No, but
But, like, it's
sometimes
not
we'll
for,
have
like, a
crushes
thirst
and
trap.
we want to like
People think everyone thinks you guys are lying.
lying.
What do we have
Yeah.
to lie about? We're being very open
Yeah,
right now.
Well, you guys
I
can
have
follow
no
my
reason
Instagram and
to
see that
lie.
I don't post a lot of half naked photos.
No, I mean,
Even if-
from
I mean,
what
I do
from
follow
what I
before
remember
I-
from all your guys' Instagrams, I don't remember any of them being a lot of half naked photos.
Okay, that's fair.
If you're young and hot, take a photo.
Yeah, we're
Yeah,
never
we're
gonna
not
post
gonna
it.
Well, like you said, take the photo.
people
just
wanna
save it
see
for
what they
yourself.
Oh no, I mean, listen,
See?
Niso, you make a good point. I mean, is wanting validation a bad thing?
We're human.
I don't
We
know.
all want
Maybe,
validation.
maybe
One way or
not.
another.
Men want validation.
Absolutely.
Just as much as we do.
But there's something
Absolutely.
about, I go on a girl's Instagram. She's not a model. She's not even an OnlyFans. She's just like a normal girl, and like all these half naked pictures. That's
okay,
intense.
that's different. Yeah.
It's intense.
That
And I want to
is-
say that that's the exception, but I have a hard time doing that because there's a lot of women who do
Will
that.
she make you
Men
money
do
from
that
the
too.
pictures?
What if she hates clothes? She hates clothes.
She just hates
Where
clothes.
do you
She just
draw the
hates
line?
clothes.
Where do you draw the line that she wants attention?
All right,
She wears shirts.
I got to read some super chats here.
Oh boy, Scotty
Um,
Rose, what do you got?
This is from a while back, but yeah, Scotty Rose, $4.99. Hi Emma, maybe you're. This is
Yep,
out of
here we
context.
go.
'Cause this is from hours ago. Maybe you're feeling the need for relationship advice is because maybe you don't know your needs and wants in a man. This could be why. What do you think? Well, we don't have time to answer. I'm sorry.
That's
Scotty.
true, though.
Mac said earlier, example, Jonah Hill belittled for his standards. He was talking about how men are belittled for their standards. Jonah Hill was an example.
Yeah.
Scotty says 2 for 2, Emma. Sometimes it can take meeting the right man for
Oh,
you to
here we
figure it
go.
out. Also, continue to be you. The right man should accept you for who you are. Cool.
That's nice.
Scotty Rose, $1.99. Perfect time to bring up Emma, the last 2 chats. Scotty Rose, $9.99. 3
Oh,
for
boy.
3, Emma. You're
Oh my
deserving
gosh.
of a man that is ready. Can please you mentally and emotionally, a man that has their life together. You like fish? Because I'm a big Chicago catch. Let's continue this off the show.
Scotty Rose.
I have to give him
Let's
credit.
continue
That
this
was
off the
good.
show. Trip has my number. Shoot a shot all the time.
Yes, I love that.
Mac, want to know? No such thing as a modern man. He is the initiator. Interesting.
Ooh.
Scotty
Wait, say
Rose.
that again. What was that? Say that part again.
No such thing as a modern man. He is the initiator.
He's the initiator.
Scotty Rose.
I like that.
Tony, you're a good man. I'm proud of you, Chicago brother.
Scotty Rose, my guy.
Mike Denver, what to do if the girl who friend zoned me keeps asking me to do stuff that seems more like a date activities? If a girl's friend zoned you, you do not hang out with her.
Unless like you're just friends.
Period.
You're gonna like her more.
But it's not. And Niso said unless you're friends, but it's not a friendship because let's be honest, you're not magically going, okay, I'll just be this girl's friends now. You're a friend now. You're obviously interested. This just ended. So, Mike, I would be straight up with her and say, hey, I'm totally down to hang out with you, but not as a friend. Okay, cool. Wait, what's this? If guys stopped liking your bikini pics, would you still post them?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're all.
Yeah,
Why do I need a
supposed
man's
to be.
validation?
I don't want. Yeah.
If I'm looking for a
telling
man's
you.
validation, or if I'm looking to see if he's
We-
ignoring me,
yeah.
I'm gonna post something random on my story, like me driving my car or something. You know, I'm just be like, "Are you
Just like
looking?"
looking at ourselves. We
Yes.
like to look back at.
No, but I do
I-
love staring at myself. But if I'm looking for a man's like, if I'm looking to see if a man that I'm talking to is like active and stuff, I'm gonna post on my story. I'm not gonna post my actual Instagram. I don't care about that.
I just want to say I posted my first bikini picture of the year on my story.
Oh yes.
Oh.
But that doesn't mean I don't look for validation on my post whenever I post everything that I post. Just want to put it out there. I look for validation. I don't use my body, but vice versa. It doesn't matter. Like I'm still looking for validation. I don't think there's anything wrong with validation.
I think girls also.
Emma, I gotta stop right here because we're at time.
Sorry.
Real quick, just really quickly. I know
Okay.
we're almost done. I just want to. I made a
3
long.
hours?
I made a long list, and I just want to read it all. So these are just red flags. I think this can be anything for men or women, but I think it's good for the audience to know or to think about. This is not the full list. There's obviously a lot more, but this is what I came up with. I wish we could have talked about this, but maybe for another time. All right, here it is. I'm gonna go fast. Extreme jealousy. Always late, unresolved daddy or mommy issues, needy / isolation attempts, which means this is an interesting one. Trying to isolate you, meaning like if the girl is trying to, or the guy is trying to only hang out with you and not have you hang out with other people.
Yeah.
No friends, avoiding difficult conversations, or it's hard to have tough conversations with. Overly critical or nagging, controlling, hypocrite, disrespectful to you or others, refusing personal growth, always in a victim mindset.
Oh no.
Extreme mood swings, gets too drunk / substance abuse, excessive materialism, too impulsive, financial entitlement, not good with finances, constantly on their phone, doesn't say thank you, no hobbies or interests outside of work, fresh out of a relationship, excessive tattoos or piercings, messy place, doesn't apologize, unhappy, and someone who calls themselves unlucky a lot or is unhappy.
Oh yeah, you
Is
don't
that
want
a good
in
list?
there. That is a good.
Things.
That's a good one.
That's a good
Yeah.
list.
Good list.
Except for the tattoos.
tattoos and piercings, that's a little-
I don't know.
Excessive tattoos or piercings. I would say
Yeah,
most people
fuck
who
that.
have that is a red flag. I wouldn't categorize you as that.
Thank you.
No, but
I-
I like a good
it's-
sleep
it's not
on a man,
excessive.
though. I think it's
That's not
kinda
excessive.
sexy.
Okay.
Oh,
You mean like
like
full
head to
body?
toe?
Like
I mean, see,
Yeah.
you're like.
Or
you
I
know,
would
like,
even
that's a
say
red
in
flag.
specific places. Any tattoo on the face. I don't know anyone who's a normal person who's got a
I love a
tattoo on their
taste-
face.
Kaylani,
tattoo.
mommy. I mean, like I'm straight, but she can ruin my life. Kaylani's beautiful and she has face tattoos, and she's.
I think
Beautiful,
it's just to
but
each their
probably
own.
a red flag. Okay, we got to end here. Thank you, panel. Thank you, Emma. Thank you, Niso. Thank you, Abby. Thank you, Michelle. Thank you, Tony K. Thanks to Chicago and Nova Digital. Thank you for the audience and the help. Ali, Dr. Brandon Kramer. Thanks everyone for being here. You guys have been awesome. If you need help, you know where to go. TripAdviceCoaching.com. We are here to coach you, to help you, to get you to a place where you have more choice with women, and to find an amazing woman, someone who's not going to have the red flags that we discussed here today. We have free calls waiting for you on standby. Go to TripAdviceCoaching.com. Thank you, everybody, for being here. I really appreciate it. Last but not least, the chat. Guys, thank you so much. And all of you who were very active in the chat. I do this for you 100%. So obviously, last but not least, thank you so much. And thank you for all the super chats. I do appreciate them. They do support the show. Even those little 199ers, why not? Okay, we'll see you in 2 weeks. I'm doing a different kind of live. I'll be coaching about 2 to 3 guys. So instead of a panel of women, it's going to be 2 to 3 guys, and I'm going to be coaching them. So it's going to be a live coaching session. You're going to learn a ton. That is going to be on Labor Day, September 4th, Monday, 8 p.m. Be here, and I'll see you there. Take care.